Fingers too dang long. Nope. Because the last stream attempt froze for such a ridiculous chunk of time, I am now like so wary. I'm just like continuously looking at the screen to make sure that it hasn't just frozen. Because as it turns out, streaming your like iPad screen is like apparently ridiculously difficult for fucking no reason. Like, I don't know. I have to do this by streaming it through like third-party software to my computer. and then just using that as like a window capture, but it's like an AirPlay thing, so on occasion it'll just drop the program, like it'll just like stop doing it, and that's like, okay, well, I kind of want you to keep doing that is the thing. And it's like, meh, I don't really feel like doing that for you right now, you know? And it's like, okay, well, I'm sorry I asked. Ew. Okay. We have a little Merlin, we have a little Morgana. How about a little Nimue, for old time's sake? It's been so long since I've drawn Nimue. Erase, baby, please. Let's try that again. Okay. Alrighty. I feel like my pen is too big. Jesus Christ, drawing eyes is special hell. Not drawing eyes, but like drawing two eyes on the same face. I really struggle with symmetry. I know that this is not symmetrical, and I just like shudder to think what it looks like if I were to flip it, and I don't want to. But the thing is, like, if you do it early, it's like, oh, I'm catching it before it's a problem. But if you wait too long, it's like, I've just created a nightmare for myself, and I don't want to look. And if I don't look, then I don't know, even though I know, because it's always a problem. I've never once flipped a canvas and been like, oh, I crushed that. Never. Which makes me worry for every time I've ever done, like, a front-facing, like, traditional drawing. Like, I just know that something evil is happening there that I just, like, don't know. I wouldn't know, because I don't look. Frankly, none of my business whether traditional drawings I do are symmetrical or not. Whee! But yeah. I love Nimwe's, like, crimped, like, ends. It's so fun. And it's so 2000s. Like, I love how unabashedly 2000s the first season of Merlin is. It's like, yeah, you know what year it is. We're not even gonna pretend we're going for something medieval in any legitimate sense. It's like, okay. Perfect. No notes. Hello, Charlie's Pantry. Oh, his bowl cut is so hideous. Stop. Okay. Let's try that one more time. The by here. Okay. Instead of trying to paint it out, let's just sketch out a hairline that isn't horrific, and then go from there. Okay, great. Yeah, see, that's too fluffy. And like all of this is weird as hell. Okay. Yep. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It's been so long since I've regularly streamed. I used to do it a lot in like the 10th grade. I think it was literally like 2015, 16. And then I've changed. Like now I draw on an iPad. And streaming off of an iPad is literally like, it's an exercise in self-torture. I don't understand how to reliably do it, so if it's a little jank, then that's why. But I really liked streaming when I used to do it more often, so I'd love to get back into it now that I have a bit more time in my day-to-day. Oh my god, why is drawing the squeaking skull? Huh? The skull's so fucking hard. But no, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. It's a fun time. One thing I would love to do at some point, actually, is to go back to like old drawings that I did on YouTube specifically and redraw them. I think it would be really fun to do, like either in a stream or as its own thing, because I have some old like drawings that I did speed draws for, and I feel like that would be a really fun little project. I'm actually not sure how many of those I've still left public. I'm pretty, like, you know, lenient about which of my old stuff stays up, just because I think it's fun. I always like going back and seeing artists I like's old stuff. I find it pretty entertaining, because it's like, oh, we all improve. Isn't that so beautiful? Oh. But yeah, it's fun stuff. So I'd like to go back at some point and redraw old things I've drawn and post it on YouTube specifically. But I have so much art from like high school that I think it would be really fun to draw. But yeah, I don't know. Also, if people have suggestions, feel free to make them. No promises. I mean, I promise to at least try. It's just if I start a sketch and I'm like, actually, I don't think I can execute this in a way that's fair, is, you know, different. It's a different story, but redrawing art is so entertaining, especially if you remember your thought processes where you were at the time of the old drawing. Oh, that's so true. I mean, there's a drawing I try to redo every time I hit like a milestone in my life, because it was the first drawing I did like right before starting high school, so I go back to it from time to time because it's really fun. I think I recently did like a paint over of it on my channel, and to me that's like my marker for like, you know, starting high school, which was a pretty big milestone. But then I redrew it again when I started my undergrad, then again a couple years ago when I started my graduate degree. So, you know, there's a lot there. But like every time I see it, I'm like, okay, I remember where in life I was when I redrew this, because I only redraw it under those circumstances, never at any other time. So yeah, no, it's really fun. It's also just like it's my like art block hack. It's like if I'm ever art blocked, you just redraw something, and it takes you right out. I find, not always, but usually. It's also fun if you need to warm up, because I find sometimes it's hard to sketch when you don't have like ideas, and sometimes it's boring as well. So it can be good to warm up by just looking at old stuff, and then it's also like, there's a kind of selfish gratification in a lot of ways of like seeing your own work change and improve over time in ways that you like, and that's fun. Like, my work now is so different than what it was when I started this channel and when I started drawing, especially. Like, if I leave it like this, does he just look bald, or does it look like an intentional fade? Let's fill it out. Because I don't really want to give him like the monk coronet by accident. See, now it just looks like his hair is thinning. So much of art is not unintentionally making characters bald, and they don't tell you that when you start drawing. And sometimes it's just leaning into the fact that they're bald. But yeah, no. Hello, Merlin sketch page. Let's move Morgana over a titch. Give these Merlins a bit of breathing room. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Oh, great. An Amber Alert. I hope everything is okay. Never a dull moment in the Ottawa region, I fear. Actually, I used to get way more Amber Alerts when I lived in the GTA, to be fair. Like, way, way, way more. And I feel like since coming to the Ottawa area, I've seen maybe one every few months, if not every year. Like, it's quite a rare occurrence. I should be fair. That's what I should do. I should be fair. But yeah, many old drawings to redraw. That I should go back to. And also many old like works in progress that I was just simply not capable of doing at the time. Either because I didn't know perspective or I just didn't have the fucking patience. That's normally it, to be honest, is that just that I was like impatient to draw it. And like, I feel like now I'm less patient in a lot of ways. I think, I just noticed something really funny about my overlay. So I was working off of a different aspect ratio, and I put the little tapes, and now they're completely off the thing because I didn't adjust those two pieces. Fun. Will I change that in the span of this stream? Probably not. Will it annoy me enough to make me change it later? Who's to say? But anyway, in many ways I'm less patient than I was. I feel like I've never been somebody who works slow and methodically. Like, I know some of my friends are able to like work on a single drawing for 10-20 plus hours, and I think that in the last year or two, like, it's hard to count comics in this realm because comics are individually projects that take dozens and hundreds of hours depending on the length. But like for an individual illustration, for example, I don't think I've spent more than 5 hours on an individual illustration in maybe like 3+ years. Like, probably not since I was in art school. And usually even those, like if we're counting like rough work even, it's hard to say. I feel like I'm just like a very impatient illustrator. Like, of all of my recent animatics, most of them have taken me at most a day or two, and it's just because I'm not really pressed about making these like hyper detailed masterpieces. But at the same time, like, you sacrifice, there's a physical limit to what you're able to do. Like, I'm not Kim Jong-il or whatever. Kim Jong-il? Who the fuck am I talking about? The illustrator, he passed away. Kim something. Kim illustrator. Kim Jong-gi. Whoops. Kim Jong-gi. He is very fast, but also, like, I don't know, I feel like he's the physical limit to what you can do, just in terms of speed, because, like, I can't imagine how somebody could work faster than that while also producing, like, a product that looks complete. But yeah, like, I recognize that sometimes I will see, like, an animatic and it's fully colored and all that, and I was just like, that's probably not something I could produce. Simply just because of my inclinations for art. Yeah, like, if I can't do it, like, pretty quickly, I get very annoyed. I get bored. I think that's a big part. Like, I'm better now, like, quite frankly, whenever I'm medicated, whenever I take my ADHD meds, it's a lot easier to just work on something that takes a long time to work on, like a single illustration or whatever. It's part of why, like, rendering is so difficult as well, because if you're rendering, what that means is you finished a sketch, but now you have to just do it again, but slower and cleaner, and it's like, who wants to do that? I don't want to do that most of the time. Sometimes you need to. The benefit is, like, if you make your sketch, like, really clean, it's kind of a very annoying process to make it a render, because you're like, this is barely, like, this is not that much more readable than the original sketch. But if you make your sketch complete shit that only you can read, then it's great, because then you don't feel that way about the render. You're like, okay, the render is actually necessary. Everything is just a way to find a way to justify why you're doing what you're doing, and that it's not ultimately a waste of time. Also, there is merit in making something that just looks nice. Like, there is something about that is, you know, worth doing. Like, it's not all for the utility of creating a readable image. Sometimes it's just, you want to do it because it is, like, an accomplishment, and that's totally valid. There's a really good video essay, though. Not video essay, I'm not sure what you would call it, but a guy, he's an illustrator, he did these books, and he did, what the hell is it called? I don't remember. But I'm sure you could find it just by Googling, like, basically the concept. But he did these 3 books. They took him, like, 11 years or something to create. Like, huge, monumental effort, absolutely gorgeous, like, detailed illustration. And the problem is, when you start with that level of detail, you have to maintain it, otherwise the book will look incomplete, or, like, you will, like, the reader will notice that you have switched gears out of exhaustion or laziness or time or all of the above, or just sustainability, right? But he made a video about that, and he was like, I could have probably made, like, way more books if I just, you know, accepted that most people would only be looking at these pages for, like, a few minutes, if not, like, a minute. Yeah, my sketch is also my line art. Yeah, no, 100%. I think it's different depending on what you're doing, so, you know, whenever I, like, the only time I ever do line art is when I do comics. Outside of the context of comics, you will not see me do line art. Like, essentially, these sketches would be, like, the most you'll see me do is, like, clean up edges like this, or I'll paint over a bit if I add color. Like, I do like the rawness of that, but for some reason when I do comics, I feel like I do have to make it a cleaner process for a bunch of reasons. Like, consistency is huge when you're doing, like, a comic, especially a longer form one. Like, you want the whole thing to read. Though recently, like, for my short box comic, which is coming out in October, wow, for that one, I definitely kept it I only did like the first pass with my sketches, which is risky, right? Because like when you start a comic, where your sketches start and where your like sketches end can sometimes just look very, very, very different, because you keep changing up how you're doing things, you change up the method, whatever else you're doing, and that can be, you know, it's a risk. But I don't know, it has like an energy, it's fun. I love Morgana. Society of the show Merlin loved Morgana the same way. I don't think they did, though. I think they hated her like a lot, actually. They were like, what if we forget everything about her that's interesting and complicated, and what if we just flattened her into like a two-dimensional, like straight up villain? I don't even remember how tall Katie McGrath is. Like, was she just looking eye to eye with Merlin at all times? Probably. How many of us remember Merlin? That show is so bad. But it was so good. But it was so bad. I want to do another animatic so bad. I have like a work in progress Merlin animatic that at this point I'm probably never going to change, so I might just like post it as is because I'm lazy. Also because it could be like 4 seconds long, and then everybody will be like, oh, and that's it, and then it'll be good, and I'm just going to be upkeeping the quality standard that I've maintained on my channel. You know, the thing that I care about a lot. We can't all be Mummy Joe, you know? We can't all be insert name of other animatic artist here. I really like not envy, but like I really admire the people who have managed to create like fandoms for their own OCs. I don't understand how they do it. I also don't know how they manage to make people like care about their OCs. I don't know why, but every time someone asks me like, oh, what's your OC story, I feel like obligated to explain it in the simplest way possible so that I just don't waste anybody's time. And what that ends up creating is like a very bland explanation of what in my mind is like colorful explosion rainbow field, you know what I mean? It's good. I'm like, if I haven't drawn them in a way that explains it, it's like, what good is just me explain, like, you know what I mean? Like if somebody's only drawing like memes of their OCs, and then you ask them like, oh, what's your OCs about? They're if that's the vibe, and then they say like, oh, well, they're in war, and it's like an enemies to lovers thing, and it's very serious. I'm just like, okay, well, I don't think that's what you've portrayed, but that's fair enough. Like, I would always just fear doing that in some unintentional way, if that makes any sense. I don't know. The Dungeon Meshi animatic actually, like, it's the third one I posted, but it's the first one I drew, because originally I was gonna boil every frame. Like, every frame, like, imagine that animatic, but quadruple the effort, because I would have drawn every frame another 3 times. And then at some point I was just like, you know what, if I do that, this will never exist, because that's just gonna take me way too long, and I don't want to do that. And I just accepted that it was the rough. Like, the thing that I posted is the rough version of what it was originally going to look like. And I was just like, you know what? That's fine. And it's still probably my favorite thing I made last year. Like, I was so happy with it. Even in that state, I was like, yep, I'm okay with that. And I think that's pretty funny. Like, again, sometimes I wonder how many things I see from people that I like where I'm just like, oh, that's sick, and then it's just like literally they're rough that they didn't feel like rendering out. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to know. Exactly. Like, explaining the whole character lore is like a nightmare. It's like my nightmare scenarios, explaining to my OC lore to somebody and then trying to decide like what to include. and then watching like the interest fade from their eyes is like that's probably like a version of hell that I would exist in, for sure. Is just explaining something to somebody who's like, oh, actually I don't think I'm as interested in this as I thought I was when I asked, which, you know, scary stuff. Scary stuff. I think my favorite like Merlin fanon thing is like, okay, his eyes are gold, and actually this might just be canon. Like his eyes are gold because he's like the pure magic, and then her eyes are copper because she's not a warlock or something. You know what I mean? I feel like that's so fun. The fake lore for Merlin that exists in my head is like so cool, is the thing. Like you don't even know. Like Merlin in my head, primo show, so good. And then the Merlin that actually exists is like, what if we were normal? What if we were kind of mid, even? And it's just like, ugh, my favorite show. I don't know if it's still my favorite. I feel like there are better shows that have overtaken it. You know what I mean? But, oh, now I've made her a little bit, off center. Come on, girl. Stay focused. See, the green is just not cooking. You know? Oh, stop. Orange. Get back here. Let's get the pin look back. Yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. Cool stuff. Let's get a little Nimue. Once again, I shall field requests, because once I fill this page, I don't know whether I should just do more Merlin or not. Fun. I'm also not even sure if the Hollow Knight music, like I think it's playing. I can see the Mac OS audio capture thing on OBS is like, yes, it's playing. We are registering the sounds. And I'm happy about that, but I also don't know for sure. Which is cool. Would it not be deranged if I just introduced a webcam? I feel like that would be hilarious. I'm not gonna do that. But it would be really funny. You just see how close I can get to my screen. Before I, like, have to pull back because my eyes start burning. It's, like, a little too much information about the way I work. The worst part about streaming is I have to put my shit on Do Not Disturb, because otherwise, you know, I'm gonna get notifications that pop up on screen because it's an iPad, so there's no way to, like, isolate. Unless I just did project canvas, but then you wouldn't see me zoom in, and it's like, what's the point? Like, oh, you just see a static canvas? Like, I don't, maybe some people prefer that, but, like, I like the fact that you can see, you know, how I focused. I have a friend who will fully draw like this, and actually that's a good move because I can see this shape is like kind of uggo, you know? Maybe this whole thing is kind of uggo. That's fine. So I'll do that, and then it's like, oh, I got a better shape. Because she'll literally go like this, and it's like thumbnail time. Which is really fun. Whee. I couldn't draw like this, but I think this is totally fine for making edits. Like, okay, this is like an area that needs more clarity. Like, it's falling away too much for my taste. So we do that, and then when we go back out, it's like, oh yeah, I can see this part, right? Like, it's... I also don't know how much detail, like, I don't know how good the quality of the stream is. It's been giving me a warning the entire time. That's like, your bitrate is too low. Stupid. Fix it. I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. But, okay. Thanks. though. Let's do a little Nimmy. I feel like if I ever wrote an video essay one day, it would fully just be like how Merlin, like fandom, portrays different characters in modern AUs. Because it is fascinating. It is so interesting. Like, I would love to just chart. And, like, the problem is everybody influences each other, right? Like, if there's a really popular one, like, everybody's like, oh, that's so true. They would have those jobs. And then everybody, like, gives them those jobs or whatever. You know what I mean? But I still would love to chart. It's like, how many people make, I don't know, Merlin a teacher or a nurse or some other, like, job in that universe, right? How many people... I think it would be so interesting to see how many people translate Arthur being a prince to being either a CEO or a business person. Rarely they'll do lawyer, but I feel like a lot of people don't do that one, which is very funny. Or sometimes they'll just do modern royal, which is like ridiculous, or like son of guy in House of Lords, and it'll be like, oh, he's a hereditary lord, which is insane. And then they're like uncritical about it completely, and it's really funny, and I would love to chart that. I would just love to see into the minds of like these really specific people from the span of like 2009 to 2025, let's say, like just the full gamut. I think it would be really funny. I just think it would be. My friend Nimue with her big smile. I love Nimue. I'm still like heartbroken that she wasn't the main villain of the whole show. She could have been everything, and instead we got crumbs. She just like, but her finale was so sick. That's the problem. It's just like, would I trade that finale? Like, probably not, but like, it was so good. She was such a good character, and they had a good out to bring her back, you know? It's fine. I'm not mad about it. No, I'm giving her Morgana hair. Her hair is like, it's unruly in like specific ways, but it's still like she's crimping her fucking hair because it's 2008, probably 2007 as it's being filmed. It's so good. I love that she has crimped hair. I think it's so funny. Like, yes, queen. That's so good. I love it. I love when a show is like a period piece, but it's unabashedly like from the year that it was created. Like, yes. Well, I don't know. Do we start coloring? Why not? Nah. Okay, let's pick our brush. You can get these brushes for free on my Ko-fi. Not all of them. I've duplicated and since added brushes because I can't be contained, but many of them. Let's do a little 20% opacity and 2, 3, 2. A little Gaussian blur never hurt nobody. Nope. Yep. I missed this fucking show. I never watched it as it was coming out. I watched it after the fact, and I still miss it. It's so good. And so bad at the same time. They just don't make television like this anymore. They just weren't queer-baited. They're just not queer-baiting like this anymore. Like old classics. Like, do I want them to? No. It was bad. It was a bad time. But at least they had sauce, you know? At least they had flavor. Now everybody's perfectly communicating and stuff. Can you imagine if, you know, Arthur ever in a scene was like, I think, oh no! Hold on. Hold on. Let's see if we can get her back. You may not see this, but on my end, the window just disappeared because everything is dark and sad. Oh, jeez. Let's. No, we're not gonna be right back. We're right here. I just have to do this. Okay, there we go. Fixed it. Let's do a little. There we go. Yeah, no, like, you don't have to study on it because it's a bad show and, like, you don't need to watch it. Like, this is the truth, the God's honest truth of, like, what, like, you need to do vis-a-vis Merlin, but, like, you know, I won't stop you if you ever want to watch, like, reasonably okay television. Like, this is the thing with Merlin, okay? Like, I'm tortured about it because I watched it when I was 14 and I was, like, highly impressionable. And then it ruined my life in, like, many ways. Yeah, quickest be right back ever. Like, my be. But... But, like, I watched it at 14 when I was, like, deeply impressionable. Everyone who I know who has seen it not at that age and, like, as... Or, like, not at a point in their life where they were, like, highly impressionable and prone to, like, you know... Like, I fixated on it, and then I was like, well, I guess this is gonna be me forever. And, like, everybody I know who didn't have that experience with Merlin, where they just kind of watched it and it was, like, fine... They were like, yeah, it was a totally fine piece of television. And I think that's, like, beautiful. Like, that I just, like, live in my maniac existence when it comes to just this one, again, pretty mid piece of, like, BBC television back before they had any budget to do anything. And it rocks. It's, like, really good. It's, like, really good. I love Morgana. It's just like, here's 2 colors. Don't need any more. Oh, shit. Her arm needs to be this color. Let's go, girls. Oh, wait. This looks bad. I don't usually do, like, the contour with, like, shading. Usually I just use the line work to do any contour, but not this time, I guess. No, the problem is I did this part on the liner, which is like, I don't know why I did that, but okay. Oh, because that's not gonna do nothing. Cool. I feel like I need to rewatch Doctor Who. Said the devil because the devil hates you. There's so many shows, man. There's so many new shows. Like, why do I even want to watch shows that I watched when I was 14 and are objectively, like... I think Doctor Who has good episodes. It's just like, you know, I stopped watching it after season 5 because I barely enjoyed Matt Smith. I thought he was such a nothing burger, like, guy in the show. Like, no offense to the guy, I'm sure he's fine. Actually, I'm not sure he's fine. I don't know anything about him. but I truly only watched because I thought Amy and Rory were fine. And then after that I was like, well, there's nothing keeping me here anymore, which is, you know, I think a fair enough position to hold about that show. But there's so many good shows now. Like, I still haven't seen Interview with a Vampire, you know? There are many anime that I have not seen as well, because I'm bad at keeping up with stuff. There were video games to play. Ooh, maybe I do Hades fan art after I do whatever I need to do on this page. Do I even want to color anybody else? Like, maybe not. Hey, do we all want to see my horrible gradient map situation? Okay, these are some defaults plus my edits. Oh, I kind of enjoyed this one. Just for a little tint. But yeah, no, it's like kind of normal. I use this every time I want to make like a strong black and white version of something for printing. That looks fucking cool. Hold on. Wait, that looks kind of sick. I gotta play more with strong blacks. Like, that's fun. Oh, that tangent is disgusting. Oh, okay, we'll fix that. This is good. This is good for me noticing tangents that I didn't realize I was putting in. Ew. Oh my god. Okay. But yeah, I have so many gradient maps. Oh, I have so many gradient maps. Ooh, that's so goddamn many gradient maps. Ooh. Okay, these are fun, actually, these at the end here. So my friends and I all made, like, we all created palettes of each other and then created gradient maps based on those palettes. Because we thought it would be fun. So, like, for example, Alex. These are all very Alex-y colors. Though I think I would change some of these now. Like, it's missing a few essentials. My buddy Finch, he's pretty into the monochrome and red, I would say. Sometimes a dark blue, but mostly just the monochrome. My friend Kalina, very pastel and like ocean-y colors. My friend Sarah, very like Crunchitizer 3000, which is fun. And then what did I get? I got this because at the time I was big into secondaries, and I think I still am, but this is definitely like LSR core. These are fun. The LSR special, I put this on like basically everything because I like it. I think it's got the sauce. Does this one have black? Oh, good. This little tint. I actually don't like that one for this. I think this one is better served by one of these. Yeah. Yup. Now that's what I call music. Great. And then we do the same thing we did before, which is 20% opacity, Gaussian blur 2%, and then, oh god, I gotta paint this fucking disgusting tangent. Yep, there we go, fixed it. And then I have to do this stupid thing again, because I've committed to this look, so, not noise, Gaussian blur, 2%. And there we go. Oh, wait, I actually don't want to do that. Perfect. Um, cool. What the hell do I do next? I said something and I forgot what the thing was. It wasn't Merlin. It was different. That's unfortunate. The hell was I talking about doing next? Beats me. Group. Evil Merlin. So true. That's exact. I know that's what I said. What the hell was I talking about though? Oh, that's gonna bother me. And I could just go back, but I don't want to do that. What the hell was it? That's fine. Whatever. We keep moving. Ah, okay. Alright. Back to the scary blank canvas. What the fuck do I do? Evil Merlin is like so cursed to me because that is literally just like a big trope from the fandom from like literally 10 years ago. Like I don't think it's popular anymore because like, who in their right mind? But there was like once upon a time where every annoying person, let's do old Merlin, you know? Let's just do a little, not old, but like in his 40s Merlin. I do enjoy a little time skip. Evil Merlin is genuinely like a very funny suggestion, because like who the hell, like in a way that's just already the show. There is an episode with Evil Merlin though, which is really fun. It's a good one. I think it's A Tale of Two Servants is the title of the episode, which is like it's I think it's like season 4 episode like something. I don't remember which episode. Potentially episode like 8 or 9. Hold on. A Tale of Two Servants. The Story of Two Servants. Right. No, that's from the Bible. Merlin. That's a servant of two masters. Thank God. You know what? It's good that I didn't get that perfectly on the money. Season 4, episode 6. You know what? I was going to say season 4, episode 5, but I knew it wasn't. Because I knew season 4, episode 5 is the episode where Uther dies. Spoiler alert. But, yeah, and then I was just like, well, I know what season 4, episode 5 is. So it's not that. But it's definitely after that. But when after that, I don't know. I'm glad I got as much information as I did wrong, because I do think that that's, like, a good sign for my soul. And, like, whatever else, that I'm not totally a lost cause. Like, it's good. Like, you know when you work a retail job and you start to forget information? Like, I can't remember certain, like, recipes from when I used to work at a large chain coffee shop, who shall go unnamed. But, because it's been, like, 5 years since I quit. And every time I, like, feel myself lose information, I'm like, oh, good. Freedom. Peace and love. Okay, let's not dry his hair like this again. I don't even remember what I'm doing. Like, what is it, older Merlin or something? The beard? It's been such a long time since I've drawn time skip Merlin. I could draw something that's not Merlin, but what am I gonna do? Miraculous Ladybug? I would draw like Dungeon Meshi, but I actually don't think I can draw them like unprompted. It's been so long since I've doodled those characters that I think they would look like shit, and that's actually kind of scary. Like, it is a sketch live stream, but I feel like there's nothing less fun than watching somebody struggle to draw a character. Hello. Janaya? Tell me if I'm saying that right. Is this like we all seeing that? I don't think that's where I want this to go. He needs to look pissed. He needs to look madder. There we go. Aw, thank you. That's really sweet. I need to do more animatics. What do I do them for? Hard to say. I have so many songs that I want to do animatics to, but like nothing to go with them, so to speak. Or it's just like I'm not willing to do a Miraculous Ladybug animatic at this stage of my life. I think I'm a little too grown up. But then also, wouldn't that make 14-year-old me so happy? What am I a big fan of? That's a really good question. I feel like I'm a big fan of... Oh, shoot. Merlin. I don't know. I don't think it's obvious, though. Like, I don't think you can tell that I'm a big fan of Merlin. It's, like, kind of subtle. Hello, Allie. I think it's subtle that I'm a fan of Merlin, actually. I don't think it's, like, clear. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of Witch Hat Atelier, which is a really good manga. It's supposed to get an anime, but like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that actually happens. I'm also, thank you. I'm also a fan of, I should just start listing things off. I like Hollow Knight. It's a great video game. I really like Hades, which is a great video game. I should do that. Thank you, Charlie's Pantry. I should do a Miraculous Ladybug animatic. You're so right. Thank you. And twisting. Okay, I feel like this is spam, unfortunately. Yeah, I think that's spam, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I think it's spam. You know what? Such is life. But got my chat rate up, so that's... Your vocabulary is so large. Yeah, it's real big in it. You know what? That's beautiful. The algorithm was like, this person's getting a lot of comments about how pretty they look despite the fact that there is no webcam on. Let's start recommending it. Yeah, no, I should do the Miraculous Ladybug animatic. I think that would be fun. I think, you know what, I did do a video about Miraculous Ladybug that, like, every time I make content about Miraculous Ladybug, I do get an influx of, like, young people. Fair enough, it is a show for babies, and like I am very self-aware of like what it is as media and who its audience primarily is. I will say there's like only so much my soul can take about like the level of media literacy that happens, and it's like I recognize that I'm engaging in that space. I can only say so much, you know what I mean, before it's like, okay, you're being a little unself-aware, I fear. But I'm very self-aware. But also, you know, the holy music is a Hollow Knight ambient mix, but I can't find another one that I find to be not distracting. So it really is. I should just put that in the description, because I don't want people to think I'm like putting weird holy music like you have just noted. Fair enough. But it's the City of Tears track. Maybe I should put a little thing that's like now playing, and then it would just say you know, City of Tears ambient mix. Yeah. You know what? I should try to see if there's a Green Path one. I feel like that's a better choice. Hold on. Ambience. Let's see. Let's take a look. Yeah, 10-hour Green Path. Perfect. Yep. Game tracks are peak. Yeah, game tracks are peak. I feel like this doesn't sound holy. This sounds whimsical and fun, and I just like City of Tears music is just so good, but I do recognize what it sounds like. No, I appreciate I appreciate that, because I wouldn't have made that change if not for it. But yeah, no, game tracks are peak. I feel like I was gonna originally put on the Disco Elysium like ambient mix. The unfortunate thing is it for some fucking reason has a ton of ads, and like my ad block wasn't working on that video for some reason, so you know, what's the point of an ad playing if I'm not making money off of it? No, but actually it would be obtrusive as fuck and it would be very annoying. But yeah, I mean, I feel like currently all of the animatic ideas I have it's such a good game. Disco Elysium is so peak. I've done like one animatic to it, but I have no like good serious animatic ideas. I do have like a 70 song playlist for my good friend Harrier Dubois. Let's see. Disco. Where is my playlist? DE. Yeah, it's like, how many songs? 58 songs. It's not quite as many. But it is such a good game. I've done my one little animatic to it, which was fun. And I think reposted by some of the people who worked on it way back when, which was nice. That was nice of them. You know, but they don't tell you, if you don't want to draw the other eye, you just don't have to. You can just move on. And that's like allowed. Is it lazy? Yes. Do you still not have to? So true. You don't. The last time I regularly live streamed, I was very actively into Voltron. And I think there is like a part of me that is like still in this mindset of like, if you're live streaming, you should be drawing Voltron. But it's been so many years. Also, the show is not good. So, but aren't they doing like a reboot or something? Like they're rebooting it again? I don't know. I hesitate to even look it up. I fear what that would do to the various algorithms I'm subject to. But if somebody doesn't care, like, feel free to let me know. Because I simply couldn't be bothered. It is! Ugh, that's crazy. That's crazy. We live in a society where Voltron is getting rebooted again! Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. But yeah. Hey. What a time. What a time to be alive, you know? There was a time where, like, reboots were like, oh, this thing was made 30 years ago. Let's take another gander, brother. And it's like, okay, great. That's fine. 30 years ago, the animation was, like, kind of crazy looking. Are you gonna make it look really good? And they were like, well, we're gonna do some things that look cool. And it's like, oh, like what? And they're like, you know, some things. And it's like, oh, well, are you gonna make like a really cool like ship animation? It's like, no, it's gonna be mostly like flat colors and gray. And it's like, okay, cool. You had 30 years and that's what you're coming up with? And it's like, yep. Sure are. We have DreamWorks money, baby. Who do you think we are? It's like, fair enough. I'm sorry I asked. Do you know what? I like the uncertainty, and I appreciate your honesty. Yeah, I'll Google it, whatever. Let's be brave. Let's be brave. Like, what's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is it's true. Voltron. Oh my god, I spelled the absolute fuck out of that wrong. Voltron news. Live action movie. Hold on, that's a Google AI. That could be bullshit. Henry Cavill? Stop. Stop. What the hell are we talking about? It's dark there. It's dark. It's fucking dark. I don't want to look. What do you mean? What are we talking about? Henry Cavill's live action, free to stream Henry Cavill action movie? This is on IMDb. This is not a news source. This is just IMDb. I know. It's... I didn't make it up. It's there. It's there, but I don't have time to fact check anything. You ever see, like, bullshit, like, tweet news that's, like, upsetting and you immediately accept it as true because it's so upsetting? And then you show it to somebody and they're like, oh yeah, I saw like an entire thing debunking that. Like, maybe that exists. I just simply, like, I am on a drawing live stream. I cannot stop drawing so I can Google whether this is real. Oh, and it's completely fucked my browser. Like, stop. Hold on. Live action Voltron movie? Is that real? There's just simply no way. There's simply no way. Okay, on MSN, that's not a real... None of these are real... Okay, Henry Cavill on Variety. Is that real? There's just simply no way. These are all like, okay, IGN. I do think IGN is less bullshit. This is October 10th, 2024. That makes about sense. What are we talking about? This is bananas. I can't look anymore. That's like really upsetting. Anyway, well, I was drawing and then I got lost in the sauce of days gone by. Maybe I just... That's not what she looks like. I know, Allie. I'm not happy about it either. I'm not happy about it any more than you are. I'm simply the bearer of upsetting news. I didn't realize it was gonna be live action! Do you think they're gonna bring back Max Taylor Klaus? Oh no. I have so much information in my head from that era that's like so evil. Like, I wish I could go back in time. Yeah, I know, man. It's not good. Imagine you get a random algorithm recommendation. It's like, join this live drawing stream. Don't worry, you won't learn any information that will upset you. Why Henry Cavill? Is he gonna play Shiro? Like, who is he gonna play? There's no way he's gonna play Shiro. I said that out loud and I got really upset. Hi, Siobhan. It's okay, we're just looking at cartoon news from a year ago. I feel like this is like too adult in a way. Like, you know what I mean? You know when you draw like too much here and it's like, oh, this character is suddenly 25. Like, stop. It's going well. How are you? Ooh. It's not what I meant to do. I don't even even like drawing her with the pigtails. I know that's like her. Oh, literally. Except I love giving a character a little eye wrinkle. It's so like like it's instinctive actually. I give so many characters like a little eye wrinkle that I actually have to go in and erase it 90% of the time because it's like too much. But it's so fun. I love giving a character ugh, swag. Swag. Aura. Yes, that's what the kids are saying these days. It just feels right to do. Exactly. Exactly. Ugh, I really do want to find an old drawing of mine from my days gone by on this channel and like redraw it. I feel like that would be so fun. Oh, I used to do so many animatics too. I would just like sit there and find a funny video and do an animatic and be like, job well done, LSR. Good job. I feel like aura is like the line in the sand for me on like what like Gen Alpha? I don't know if Gen Z are saying it. I'm Gen Z. But like I do think it's the line in the sand for me of like when I'm like officially out of touch. Because I don't say it, and if I say it, I sound like a goober. Like I feel like I'm an old person. And it's like, I'm 24. I don't think I should feel this old. But you know, it's good. I was no, like I'm absolutely like I hear you. Like I just like I hear myself say aura and I'm just like, you are too old to be saying that. It doesn't sound right. I feel like I cannot say it seriously. Like that's probably like the actual thing is like I can't say it in a way that doesn't sound ridiculous. Like you would never catch me saying it in a way that's like, oh yeah, that guy has aura. Like I would never. There's just no world. But I do think there are people out there who are like genuinely saying it. But it does like aura. Like hold on, look, aura. I should actually not start because if I do, it might become unironic, and I feel like that would be a bad. For me, it would just not be good. I go back to classes in like 2 weeks, and I think that would be dangerous if to introduce into my vocabulary at this point. Aura, yup. I literally feel myself get older. Like there was truly like I don't know, like I don't remember at what point I like was truly like I don't know, I couldn't imagine being out of touch. Like I'm so in touch right, like you know what I mean? I was just like on the pulse, finger on the pulse of the whole situation and like, you know, what people were saying, etc. I think that was like 2016, so fully I was in like high school. That's dark. Hey, I'm brain rotted too, it's just not in my vocabulary, that's the thing. It does like make me giggle, it's like funny. And then aura farming. Like I was at work and like unfortunately had to explain it to an older coworker. And it was just like embarrassing. I was just like, I wish I could tell you I don't know. And it's like, I don't think I do know. Because I explained it and my slightly younger coworker, i.e. born in 2002, so 2 years younger than me, was like, nah, you're not getting the whole picture. And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know how much more of a picture there is, my guy. It's good. It's fun. My two friends. What if we just switched up the color? Yeah. Who am I drawing? Marinette from Miraculous Ladybug. Except I always draw her with like this shaggy short bob now, and I don't know why. It made sense in context once upon a time, but then I think I drew a comic of her getting her hair cut, and then I was like, this looks fun. It also doesn't look like her. Like, I recognize that. Like, that's okay. Oh, thank you. It's really hard to make art that looks better than Miraculous Ladybug, so I really appreciate that. I shouldn't knock on it. I'm better than that. It's not for me. It's made for a much younger audience than me. Do you know, like, there was a really beautiful moment, like, because I've watched this show, like, I had trick-or-treaters come to my house a few years ago, and I remember, like, this little girl, like, 5 years old, comes up, and she's dressed as Miraculous Ladybug, and I was like, oh my god, I love, like, your Ladybug, you look so cute, and she was so happy, and it was, like, a moment for me, it's like, I shouldn't even know what she's dressed as right now, like, a contemporary cartoon for her age, like, it sucks so bad. It does suck, Allie, I do agree. But, like, there was, like, a moment of self-awareness. It's like, I can only say so much. Like, the media criticism I can have is, like, you know, imagine if, like, what's the equivalent? Like, it's not, like, when I was, like, a kid, like, a child, like, 5-ish, which is, I think, the age group, it's, like, up to, like, 9. I don't know what it is. I think I was watching, like, Postman Pat. I was watching Danny Phantom. There's still a fandom for Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom is also, like, it's a good show, and it's also a bad show, because Butch Hartman has, like, poison in his fingers that touches everything he creates, and it puts, like, evil and bile into the atmosphere. But, you know, that's not his fault. He was born like that. But yeah, no, it's I'm self-aware. I understand. Like, you can only knock it so much when it's, like, not, like, kids media should be good, and, like, it is very fair to critique kids media, like, absolutely not saying that it's not, but at the same time, there is a point where it's like, okay, but come on. You know what I mean? Oh, I grew up watching so much Fairly Odd Parents. Like, it was such a good Fairy Odd. Was it Fairy Odd or Fairly Odd? I can't remember what the pun was. Yeah, Fairy Odd Parents, great show. Loved it. So fun. He's still an evil freak, but, like, he did make shows that I like. Do you know what I loved? American Dragon. That show fucking rocked. That show was good. I don't remember anything about it except, I was obsessed with the Rose storyline, if you ever watched American Dragon. I also loved Kim Possible. Kim Possible, flawless. Great shows. Kids still deserve good shows. I think Miraculous Ladybug has some good lessons, like, for sure. I just think the quality of the production is, like, garbage. Like, it should have been 2D animation, but not like the PV. I don't think the PV was the right vibe. Hey, very fair. Hi, Rogue. I feel like your name is familiar to me somehow. I don't know, though. But yeah, no, kids absolutely deserve good shows. It's just that I feel like the critiques I have of it, or, like, the things that I want from it, are not fair asks for, like, a kids show. if that makes any sense. Like, the AUs that I come up with for ML, it's like, okay, you just want to make something else. Like, you know what I mean? But it's a shame. I think that there's many things about it that could be quite good, but it's unfortunately not. Hello, Cassiola. I didn't like the PV. I thought it was ugly in a different way, but it would have been an improvement, I think, than the current 3D style. I think the 3D style, like, just based on their production, like, is inevitably going to look extremely cheap. I do think it looks better now. They did, like, redesigns, but I haven't kept up with the show since season 3, so what do I know? But no, like, as a kid, I was watching Kim Possible, I was watching American Dragon. I really loved American Dragon. What else was I watching? I wasn't much of a Spy Kids kid. Or Spy Kids. Spy Kids was the movie. The Spy show. You can tell I don't know the name off the top of my head, but like that one I didn't watch. What else was there? God, Kim Possible was good. I just remembered Shigo. That shit rocked. Come on, girl. You're not a prey animal. Let's get those eyes a little closer to set. Okay. Totally Spies. So true. Yes, that's what it was. I never watched it much. I think I watched it a bit, but only here and there. Danny Phantom I was a big fan of, for sure. Loved Danny Phantom. I loved Kids Next Door. I think it's like, it was either Kids Next Door or Spy Next Door. I think it was Kids Next, KND, yeah, Kids Next Door. I loved Ed, Edd n Eddy. I loved a lot of the Cartoon Network shows. I was also a big fan of like Chowder and what's it called? Oh, there's another one. Chowder and Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack were great shows. But I wouldn't say that those are like the historical equivalents of Miraculous. I think Miraculous is like competing with a different genre of shows than those. Codename Kids Next Door. Yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, like, I think that those old shows are more looking at, like, they're not competing, but they're predecessors of shows like Gravity Falls, more like, and like Adventure Time. Though Adventure Time now is like old, because that show premiered 15 years ago and it ended 6 years ago. So like, I don't know what modern kid is like growing up on like, unless it's like reruns, which is very valid, but like, you know, they're not watching episodes of Adventure Time as they come out, or Steven Universe. Like, Steven Universe is like old as well, which is so weird, but you know, that's life. You get older, things get older. I don't know what's currently on. I remember the point where I stopped watching cartoons, though, like when it stopped being like like something that would just happen to be on, because there was a transition point where I went from watching cartoons because they were on the channels I was watching, and then when I was watching cartoons because I wanted to watch cartoons, specifically, was when Fanboy and Chum Chum was on air. You know what? Fair enough. Adventure Time being scary. I never watched it, to be honest. I watched like a few episodes here and there, but I do at some point want to go back and watch it. I feel like it's important and influential media. There's also OKKO. Like, there's a bunch of cartoons from the 2010s that I never like watched that actually I would like to go back and watch, but once I was like no longer gunning to be an animator, I feel like they became like less necessary for me to go back and watch, if that makes any sense. But yeah, like, what was I saying? Something about cartoons. Yeah, the point where I stopped watching cartoons like as a child and started to watch them intentionally because I was like in middle school and up, and was like, I'm going to watch this show now, because I, like, you know, at that point I was no longer like watching TV, I was watching like a specific show. that was when Fanboy and Chum Chum was on the air. I remember that. I was like, this is a dark time. And it was like one of the first like 3D animated shows that was like regular. Before that there was Jimmy Neutron, but like Jimmy Neutron was fucked, and I think like if you ever are curious about the production of Jimmy Neutron, you should look into it because it's hilarious. But yeah, like, oh my god, I remember whenever it would be on the air, I would literally switch back when we had cable. I don't know if this is still the case, but we had cable and then we had HD cable. This is like 2010. You would have 4 channels per channel. You would have the regular version, like standard definition, which was crunchy as hell on a big enough screen, which wasn't even like a big screen. It was like a normal size like TV in 2010. But you would have that. You would have the HD version of the channel, which would sometimes just randomly be unavailable, which was great. And then you would have the PT version of the show. Like, it was 3 hours behind or something. Like, this is in Canada, like 10 years ago, 15 actually. And so every time Fanboy and Chum Chum would be on air, like, I remember switching to, that, and the other show for, like, this for me was My Gym Partner's a Monkey. I fucking hated that show. I don't know why. It was just something about it, like, it immediately pissed me off, like, in a deep, like, an angry way. I hated that show, like, viscerally. So I would always switch to watch the TV from like 3 hours ago, just so I would not have to watch My Gym Partner is a Monkey, or Fanboy and Chum Chum, because they were bad. They were really, really bad shows. That reminded me of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, which was a really good show that I watched a lot of. Gorgeous animation, really fun. You know, there was an era of like good TV, I think, that's like worth revisiting. I would love to go back and like rewatch all of the shows at some point. Not right now though. I've like, it was like horrific. It was so bad, and it was ugly. Like, look, a show can be good and ugly. A show can be bad and beautiful. You have no right to be both. Like, pick a lane. Like, you cannot be both bad and ugly, unless you're Miraculous Ladybug, because then you have the secret third thing, which is an interesting concept. And if you have an interesting concept, then people can kind of run away with that and go play in their sandbox. Not speaking from experience, obviously, but you know, like, you're not allowed to be bad and ugly, and also not have a fun concept that's interesting in any way. That show is so fucking bad. Thank you. You're not allowed. Like, who is the exec? Give me names. Who's the exec that greenlit Fanboy and Chum Chum? I just want to talk. I have no right to be mad about this. It's literally been like 15 years. Let's see when it was canceled. I'm sure it like lasted the 1 season. If it lasted any longer than 1 season, I might be upset, but we'll see. Fanboy and Chum Chum. 2 seasons? 26 episodes a season. We were living in a different time, brother. What the hell are we talking about? Oh, it's so ugly. Oh, it is so ugly. Oh my god. Okay. Closing that tab for my mental health. Jesus Christ. Okay. Alright. Okay, we're losing the plot. This is a sketching live stream. Okay, we were here. Let's look and be inspired by what we can do when we get a big screen that we can fill up. Alright. Come on, baby. Alright, this is so much more boring. Okay. Let's, oh no, I actually like that sketch. Okay. We're losing the plot. Okay. We just got this old-ass Merlin in the corner for no reason. Yeah, let's fill that space. Okay, let's have some fun. What are we gonna do? We're gonna draw my buddy, my friend. Oh my god, he's empty. He's empty inside. Nope. I should be drawing like Silk Song or something. They just announced Silk Song is coming out on September 4th. That's insane. I always had faith, I will say. Everybody was like, oh, Silk Song is never going to come out. Team Cherry, they haven't posted an update in a billion years. And I'm like, they said 2025. Now, was I there when they said 2023 and that was also not true? Yes. But for some reason in my heart of hearts, I was like, no, it will be 2025. That is going to happen. And then I believed it. And if you believe, you'll succeed. Simple enough. It's been so long since I've drawn Adrian. That's actually hilarious. My buddy. Awesome. What you drawing? I love a little draw along. Cool. But yeah, if you believe hard enough, it will become true. You know? Silk Song is real. And it's coming out in 2 fucking weeks. That's crazy. I thought they were gonna... Because when I saw that there was gonna be news, I was like, okay, well that's gonna come eventually. Oh, thanks. I will say Christina, because I'm not sure how to say the first part. Mandershite? Probably. But also definitely not. Oh, my guy's eye is floating. Watch this. Doesn't that look so much more like where the eye should go? Yup. Oh, cool! I mean, I'll say whatever, but... I've had a lot of people in my life. Like, recently, I don't know what happened, like something switched where people were like, actually, suddenly we can say this name. But my name is Elisar. It's just spelled like this. It's so straightforward. And like, I do think people would have had an easier time if my parents had thought to spell it this way, which is the more common anglicization. But it's this. And the amount of people who will say, like, Elizer, which is, I guess, a fair enough, but it, you know, whatever. That's not how it's spelled or pronounced. But the amount of times I have genuinely had people who are like, do you have a nickname? Do you have another name you go by? And it's like, is this too hard? It's Alyssa, but with an R at the end, basically. Like, what is so fucking hard about that? It's fine. It's okay. I'm alright. But I will say, in the last few years, I have not had that reaction as much, where like, most people are like, yeah, Alyssar. What a straightforward ass name. So normal. And it's like, yeah, definitely. Do I like anime? There's some anime I like. I like, I mean, if we're also counting manga, I really like Witch Hat Atelier. I think it's a great comic. Is it a faux pas to describe a manga as a comic? That's what it is. It's just a a different kind. I do really like Witch Hat Atelier as far as manga goes. I mean, yeah, spelling is like hard, and it's kind of crazy actually how much nobody I can ever spell my name correctly. Usually it's a pronunciation thing, but like sometimes people are able to guess, but you know, it's if you don't have one of the like gift shop names, it's like suddenly it's a huge ask. That sounds very derisive, but like you know what I mean. It's fun. What other anime have I seen? I really like Dungeon Meshi, obviously. I did a whole animatic. I did a whole 3 animatics about it because I really liked it. A lot of the anime I watched was a very long time ago, though. I love Cowboy Bebop. I think Cowboy Bebop is like fucking phenomenal. It's great. I have a lot of like milquetoast opinions because I just don't watch as many things, so when I do watch them, they tend to be pretty popular. I liked Little Witch Academy, I think that's what it called. That was a fun one, but I didn't watch too much of it. And then, like, you have to start going far back in time. Like, I watched 3 episodes of my, like, Tales of the House Husband or something, and I thought that was fun. I was an Ouran High School Host Club fan in, like, middle school. Not 10%. Charge, baby girl. I'll give her, like, 2 minutes. While I, like, I don't know, what do? Go to a sketchbook I drew through? Like, I haven't vetted them. They could be bad. New gens, like, I do want to read I don't remember what JJK stands for, but I know what manga it is. My brother has seen Demon Slayer. I have not. I have not watched it. I fear that if I gave you the list of anime I have watched, it's like I watched AOT when I was in middle school because it was 2014, and everybody was watching it. I would not watch it now, but yeah, Host Club was huge. Host Club, I watched a little bit of Full Metal Alchemist. I watched and really liked Death Note. I watched all of 4 episodes of Free, and I did not like it. I watched 11 episodes of Haikyuu, always intended to continue watching it. And then, let me just put this, hold on, while it charges. Apple, pencil, charging. Sorry. Like 5 minutes. Yeah, Death Note is great. It's a classic. What else have I watched? It's really not that many. It's like a very short list. Oh my god, Tokyo Ghoul, I just got like flashbacks. I watched seasons 1 and 2. And I remember season 1 being like fun, and then season 2 being like question mark? But I don't remember if I liked it or not, to be honest. Well, doesn't Death Note end differently than the manga? It's been years, so I actually don't remember much of the ending. I remember when L died. Spoiler. When L died, I was like, fuck this. And I, like, you know when a character dies that you really care about, and you're like, you kind of check out for the rest of the media? Like, I really did check out after L died. I was like, I don't really care after this. Like, you know what I mean? It's like if you watch Hannibal and, like, Will died in season 2, like, okay, what's the point? Well, Will was, like, the main character. It's, I don't know, it's like if Hannibal died. Like, who cares, like, at that point, right? Like, the whole dynamic is now gone. Though I'm sure it was, like, fine, but I literally remember just checking out, and I don't remember much of the show after that point, unfortunately. Though I should I just remember I hated that little other guy, M, whatever his name was. I did not like that character, so that was unfortunate. Yeah, I watched like 4 episodes of Full. I remember I got to the point where Full Metal was like, "We're scary now," and it was the dog. I remember that part, and I was like, "Whoa, this show rocks," and then I stopped watching it. um, because I just checked out. I don't know. I'm really bad at finishing media. There's probably other things I've watched, but I don't remember. Oh my god, Mob Psycho. That's a great show. I love Mob Psycho. Though I haven't caught up with it in a while. I remember watching One Punch Man in high school, and I loved that show. I'm not sure if it holds up now, but I did like it at the time, to be transparent. That's a good question. I think that just a lack of confidence in the audience, quite honestly, is the answer most of the time. It's just like this, there is this like general, like, I don't think that this exists in like overseas markets in the way it does here, but like I will regularly talk to people here who will say that they don't watch animated media, and like they can never get past the fact that it's animated. They can't buy into it. They can't, set aside the like they can't suspend their disbelief because it's animated. And I don't understand that. I don't have that at all. Like, it's very easy for me to engage with an animated piece of media as a piece of art. And I think just a lot of people do not have that ability, or they willfully don't care, or they don't want to, or they have like some misconception. And maybe that's not fair. Like, maybe there is like a more legitimate reason why people don't get into animated stuff. But honestly, like, I don't think that belief exists in like the Japanese market, let's say, where so much of their media and advertising is animated, and in a very similar style to, like, their advertising, for example, if it is animated, will often be in a similar style to how their like shows are animated. Like, in the same way we have live action advertising, like sometimes that will reflect, the shows we watch and stuff, but you will never see like an ad that's animated, for example, to look like, I don't know, like to model after animation. And I don't know where I'm going with this specifically, but I just feel like animation is very much delegated to be like in the kid space. Oh yeah, I mean, they're gonna be terrible. Like, it's just a way to waste money. Like, I don't know what the point is, to be honest, of making these live action adaptations, but the problem is, like, people do watch them. Like, I don't know why people keep watching them. Like, for me, it's very easy to just be like, that looks bad, and I don't think I will go and watch it. But a lot of people do, and if people watch it, it makes money. So, there's an incentive in that way. And also, you cut a lot of the production time where you don't have to do as much experimentation, because you already know what you're making, because it's an adaptation. Like, a lot of the experimental and risky part is actually done in this other piece of media. So it's a very safe bet if you're like, we need to make, something that makes $800 million this year. And it's like, great, we'll make a live action version of this Disney hit classic. The people who watched it when it was animated when they were like 6 years old are adults, and they have kids now. So we have a guaranteed sit down audience of like 4 people times 100,000 or like 1,000,000. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a buy-in audience. Like, there's a lot of economic reasons why people do this. I think for anime, for something like Naruto, like, a lot of people have heard of it, but because it's an animated show that's like usually dubbed, like, I think that there's a lot, like, just a lot of people who will not sit through something that is dubbed or that has subtitles only, for example. I think it just comes down to like audience willingness, and like, I don't know, it's a bleak thing to me that's the case, but that's my take. That's my milk toast ass take about why live action stuff keeps happening. And it's annoying, but you can only get so mad, I guess. It's like, they just have to stop making money. They just have to lose more money than they are worth making, and then maybe they'll stop making them. But if they keep making money, then that's it. that's when they'll stop making them. They should make more animated adaptations, though. Like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that... And also, there's some interesting, like, media, like, that has been animated that everybody... Like, not everybody, but I've seen very popular takes that are like, this actually makes more sense as a live-action show. Like, this would have totally worked a lot better if it was live-action. Like, for example, Atlantis, that old Disney movie that kind of flopped. Like, I've seen a lot of people who were like, if this was live action, it could have, like, popped off, actually. Like, this would have been, like, a really good show if it was a live action show or even a movie. But, very rare examples of that. But there are many things that I'm like, I don't know why this wasn't animated. Like, no offense to the Percy Jackson show, I've seen a few episodes of it. It's totally fine. It's a fun adaptation, and I think it's, if anything, like, quite good in a lot of ways. But, you know, I remember being one of the TV show adaptation truthers back in, like, the 2010s. I was a very big Percy Jackson fan. In a way, I still am, but, like, you know, I was, like, in high school and middle school for a lot of that. I agree with that, Rogue. I do think that it's because they want to pull in audiences as well, like, who will watch it and then potentially also watch the anime. I think it's like, it doesn't really lose, like, something getting a bad live action adaptation doesn't lose in the same way as, like, a book would, for example, sometimes. I don't know, I don't even think that's necessarily true, but, like, if something gets a bad live action adaptation and then you just see a flood of people online who are like, well, this is nowhere close to the original, like, anime, right? That might drive up curiosity. I don't know how much it would do that for, like, the average audience, but I do think that is part of it outside of the money, for sure. Like, it's in a way marketing. Very expensive and shitty marketing, but it is a kind of marketing. Isn't that so fun? But yeah, I was talking about Percy Jackson. I was in high school, and, like, early high school, like, early mid high school, and I was very much like a Percy Jackson should get a TV show truther. Like, I was a hard believer in that fact, and I'm glad it does. I think it's not paced in a way that works well with, like, a movie, you know what I mean? There's just a lot going on that is, you know, when you summarize it or cut a lot of the jokes and stuff, it doesn't really work as well. Yeah, exactly. Also, people hate watch a lot, which, you know, I value my time, so I don't hate watch. Oh my god, I just remembered this fucking horrible show adaptation of, like, my favorite piece of media. So my favorite podcast of all time is called Archive 81, not to be confused with the Magnus Archives. It's a very, very good podcast that I like a lot. I've done a little animatic to it that I care a lot about. I love it. It got a live action adaptation a few years ago, and I was so excited. I still remember how fucking excited I was. And it was just god-awful. It was so bad. And it wasn't like the show itself was, like, ugly or poorly cast. I thought the cast was relatively quite good, with a couple exceptions. I really liked the cast. The cinematography was good. The direct Hideo Kojima, like, posted on Twitter about how much he liked it. He was like, I love this show. And I was just, like, heartbroken, because I was like, there's no way he's gonna listen to the podcast. Of course, it doesn't have a translation. Like, why would he put himself through that for this, like, long ass podcast when he could watch this show that looks quite good? And, like, I don't know what someone who had watched the show without listening to the podcast would have perceived it as. Like, I don't know what that person's experience is like, because I literally cannot separate myself from, like, having listened to the podcast. It is a real bad adaptation. The Archive 81 adaptation, like, genuinely makes me, like, upset to think about. And it also got canceled. Like, I don't know what its general reception was or if people liked it. Like, I need to actually look it up on, like, Rotten Tomatoes to see or something. Archive 81 TV series. And it comes up as the first thing when you Google it, which really hurts my heart. 87 on Rotten Tomatoes. They don't even know. They don't know what they're missing. Loosely inspired by the podcast of the same name. Yeah, I know. So fucking upsetting. It's so bad. It's so bad in so many ways that it actually, like, makes me mad. But that one I didn't hate watch, but I watched it with this, like, growing horror as I realized, like, what they had done to literally my favorite piece of media, potentially. Definitely my favorite podcast, like, that goes without question, but, like, it's up there as, like, no, like, one of the most, like, important pieces of media to, like, the way I think about writing and creating stuff. And it's just so, like, boring. It's just so boring and bad. Like, I don't know, man. It's fine. But yeah, I wouldn't say I hate watch that, but I got pretty close. I will also say that I shouldn't say, oh, it's real bad. And, like, this is the thing, like, again, it has an 87 on Rotten Tomatoes, it has, like, a 7 out of 10 on IMDb, which IMDb is pretty, like, harsh, I would say, so, like, there are a lot of things about it that I think are good, but when it compared to the original, it's, like, difficult. I think it's like very well cast. I think it's a waste of a good cast. I was excited about the cast, and it's just kind of a shame. I should draw Archive 81 fan art. What if I just did a little Nick? It's been so long since I've drawn Nick. Oh my god, I haven't been able to draw a character in a minute with eye bags. Let's go. But yeah, no, that show is, like, not good. As somebody who really cares about the podcast, I think for me that was, like, first I was shocked that it got an adaptation. Like, to me, Archive 81 is quite niche. Like, a lot of people have listened to it, but not that many. Like, it's not, you know, it doesn't have the same presence and fan art and fan creations that, like, say, Magnus Archives has. Like, Magnus Archives is quite popular. Archive 81 is, like, a pretty niche, I think, as far as podcasts go, but not, like, the most. Like, there are some very niche podcasts out there, like Red Valley. Red Valley, effectively, like, its audience is propped up by every time Noah Dow posts, like, fan art. In my mind, I also, like, only listen to it because of Noah Dow's art. It's pretty good. There are some other, like, pretty niche podcasts, but, like, I also don't have the best finger on the pulse of, like, what is considered popular, like, anymore. It's been years since I've kept up with, like, fiction podcasts, especially horror fiction podcasts. But yeah, you hate movies like Superman. Well, it's a pretty hot take. I've watched it twice now and I really liked it, but I respect your opinion. Fair enough. But yeah, no, I enjoy an adaptation, but I don't know. I haven't kept up with podcasts in such a long time, unfortunately. I Am in Askew is a recent one that I listened to that I really liked. It's older, but I really, really liked it. It's a great listen. The Magnus Protocol. Oh, right, their little spin-off. Yeah, I haven't listened to that at all. Season 5 of the Magnus Archives is such a letdown. It's like, it's one of those shows that, like, because it ended, and because it ended badly, it kind of retroactively, to me, this is my opinion, I don't know what the popular opinion on Magnus Archives was, because I completely tapped out of the fandom, like, probably early into season 5, I, like, kind of stopped engaging. With the fandom. I was pretty active in it, though, for like 6 months. Not 6, a little bit more, maybe. Up until like June 2020. Yeah. I don't know. I just remember it like retroactively made me dislike the rest of like season 4, which I'd previously really enjoyed, but it just like put a sour taste in my mouth because like there would be setup things. Like season 1 had a little bit of setup. I don't know how much of it was on purpose and how much of it was retroactive. Maybe that's not fair, but you know, I remember. Oh, hold on, I gotta do the stupid be right back thing, because my stupid thing just cut out. Can I please? Hold on. Come on, baby. Yeah, right. I do gotta... Come on, baby. It is literally gonna be right back. I just have to reconnect it, because, again, the iPad thing just... Okay, transition. There we go. Didn't like season 5. I'm listening, and I like the characters of Magnus Protocol. I think season 1 and 2 of TMA is like phenomenal. I think season 3 is whatever, but there are some of the episodes that I really like are in season 3 and 4. But as a whole, I think season 1 and 2 of the Magnus Archives are phenomenal. I think they're great. I think, unfortunately, it's one of those things that like it escalated too far to end in a satisfying way, and like that's like life. I think sometimes you just have too big of a thing to like, you know, the expectations were just too high. Like I can think of all of the ways that I would have liked it to end, but I just don't know. I just don't know how I would like do it and then still have it be satisfying, because even though to me it would be satisfying, it's like, oh well, in a perfect world, like there's a lot of fix it or script doctoring that you could do, but like I actually don't know if it would have been the better call. Yeah, I think that's a fair take. I mean, there is a lot of that in like comics and stuff, but I think a lot of what we're seeing in modern superhero movies is just that everybody knows the backstory, and it's a lot of time spent on backstories that people know. Like, yeah, so I think that's probably why they're skipping a lot of that training montage and all of that stuff. Yeah, fair enough. Yes, I agree. And then there's the flip side where there's this very old podcast. It's gone now. They had 100 episodes. The first 70 episodes were shit. I didn't like them. They were not good. They had some funny jokes, but like they were just kind of whatever. And then they were like, let's get interesting. And they started being really interesting for about 30 episodes. And then they went on hiatus, and they were like, we're actually canceling this. We're not doing it. We're not continuing anymore. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's unfortunate. So that was upsetting, I would say. I don't want to just shit on a podcast, though, so I won't say what it was, but that's like kind of the reverse of that, where I was like, oh, you quit while you were ahead. I guess that's fair, because now I'm always going to wonder what it could have been. Yeah, there's some analog horror that I really like. I think Wolf 359 is still like a masterclass of its genre. I think it's so good. I really should just like focus on sketching as well instead of just yapping. Yeah, Wolf 359, such a masterclass of its genre. It's so fucking good. Season 1 is like a bit of a slog, I think. depending on who you are. I think it's a toughie. I liked it, but it is slow. But then, like, once it picks up, it's like crazy good. I Am in Askew. It's not quite like analog horror, I wouldn't say. Like, it's not trying to do like they're recording and like the sounds are diegetic and all of that, but like I really liked I'm in Askew a lot. This is not a horror fiction podcast, but The Worst Idea of All Time is my favorite nonfiction podcast. It blew up years ago. I think it's literally like 2015 or something they started, but they were watching like an Adam Sandler movie every week for a year, and it's just two comedians very quickly realizing that like that actually sucks and like is not fun. Red Valley I've listened to and caught up to, and I enjoyed it. I should try to do Old Gods of Appalachia again. First podcast I ever listened to was obviously Welcome to Night Vale. I think that's many people's first podcast of my era. I loved that show so much. Alice Isn't Dead. Welcome to Night Vale is still going. I just haven't caught up to it since 2019. Like I think I last got to like episode 90. And it's great. Oh, I mean, there are many great podcasts out there. I really liked The White Vault. Or no, I didn't listen to The White Vault. I'm mixing it up with something else. But I started it and it was interesting, which is a useless recommendation. The Silt Verses I need to listen to. It's by the same guy who made I'm in Askew. Within the Wires, very cute. Loved Alice Isn't Dead. Thank you. Great podcast. I was somewhat disappointed in the ending, I will say. The original season of the Orbiting Human Circus, I have not listened to the updates, but like the original Orbiting Human Circus, I still listen to the song from that. It's great. Mabel, I remember listening to it, but then it got like a little it was a little too flowery for my taste. And I hate to say that because I did love the concept. I loved a lot of what it was doing. I should continue to draw my little Nicholas fan art from Archive 81. But yeah, like it was a little flowery for my taste. But if you really like, you know, prose and you like a very like if you listen to the first couple episodes, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a very particularly written show, but I do have like sensory memories because I was listening to it when we first went into lockdown, and it was like the end of my school year, and I had to do this big I'm not familiar with that. I'm not sure what it is. The Apothecary Diaries. But yeah, I was listening to Mabel when it was like just locked down, and I was trying to do all these like illustrations up against my window because I needed a light box, and I did not have a light box. It was the only option I had. Good times. Said person about things that were definitely not good times. I listened to that one. It was the same people who made the Magnus Archives, and I did like it, but like David Seven is a name that occurs to me, but I don't know. I thought it was like kind of funny, but not the best thing ever. Caravan was a fun show. I listened to the first season. There were things I liked about it, and then there were things I didn't like as much about it, but it was very indie, which I respect. I was also a very big fan of the Deep Vault. That's what I was thinking about. Deep Vault, great single season podcast. Stellar Firma. It was fun, and then I forgot about it. Exactly. So true. Yeah, that's exactly my experience with it as well. But yeah, that's, and the thing is, I did go through and purge a bunch of podcasts that I don't listen to or, like, had some issue with and removed. I think Penumbra Podcast was one of them, where I liked it, and then I didn't like it, and I'm not sure why I don't like it. Like, you know when you have, like, a reason to dislike something, and then you forget, and you're not, like, now I don't feel reasonable, because I don't remember the reason, but, like, I must have had one, because why would I delete it from my library? Just because I was annoyed? Like, I don't know. But that's not a good faith thing for why I removed it from my library. But I did like the Penumbra podcast. I listened to it, and I enjoyed it. I feel like there must have been something about it that, like, irked me off, like, on an off day. I'm Googling the Apothecary Diaries because I don't know what that is. Ooh. No, I've never heard of this. With the Penumbra podcast, right? Like, it's so weird. I just, like, I listened to it, I was like, I fucking love this. I did a bunch of fan art. I did a, like, 2 foot by 1.5 foot painting. I did a big ass painted portrait of the main character whose name escapes me. And I loved it, and then I just had, like, a weird thing where I just went from, like, loving it to having, like, a very sour taste in my mouth about it, and I couldn't tell you why. I don't know. And that's not, like, fair. Like, I can't then tell people, like, why, because I have no idea either. Ah, shit, the thing went away again. Let's go. Maybe that's a sign. Ah. Hold on. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna... Oh my god, yes, there was a specific episode that rubbed people the wrong way, and nobody remembers why. I actually have no idea. No, I'm gonna go back and, like, check. It's because now it bothers me. Because, like, surely I have, like, a legitimate reason, but, like, I don't know what that reason is. And that annoys me. Like, I need to have a legitimate reason, otherwise, like, what are we doing? Okay. Fixed it. Yeah, I don't remember either. I'm curious if I, like, go back and I look, like, search up Penumbra on my Tumblr if it comes up, but, like, I don't think it will. I'm pretty decent at, like, not posting my beef with things that have strong fan bases, and also when the creators are on the social media in question. Yeah, I mean, the last time I talked about it, it was like 2017, really. And then I mentioned it offhand in 2020, and then never again. I don't think you're the only one. I rarely color traditional art, but you just have to accept that, like, it might suck. And that's okay. That's the process. I always just try to take decent pictures of the sketch, and, you know, if it's ruined, at least I have some record of it existing if I like the sketch. But, you know, it can be disappointing sometimes when you start coloring something and you're like, actually, this is not good. I know what some people do is they'll trace their sketch onto another piece of paper and then use that. I've never bothered. I do most of my sketching in a sketchbook. But, you know, options always available to you. But I do not think you are the only one by any means. I avoid this by not coloring in my sketches, if they're traditional. There's also the really fun option of just scanning and coloring your things digitally, if that's available to you. The nice thing about that is, like, you don't really need a drawing tablet to do that, you know, if you have, like, a free drawing program, because I'm not sure what your setup is, but if you scan or take a really good picture, like, flat picture of your art, you can do, like, a pretty good digital color. And I really like the texture of coloring a traditional sketch digitally. I did it a lot in undergrad, actually. I should probably get back to it. Oh, okay, cool. I thought you were talking about the sketch you were already doing. Being traditional. But yeah, no, there are many ways in which I avoid it, but I probably shouldn't. I mean, there's also folks like, there's some pretty good like art YouTubers who basically exclusively work traditionally. I do think that's one of the areas where being a traditional artist is actually more advantageous. I think people do like watching traditional art more than they like watching digital art. The downside is the setup of that sucks so much to do. Oh my god, setting up a camera and like your shit and then like trying to get the lighting in a way that isn't ugly and clearing your desk space. Like, there are many ways in which streaming a digital canvas is annoying. It is much easier in my opinion. But what was I gonna say? Right, like Scott Christian Sava, for example, he comes to mind because he's really good about showing like whenever he colors in a sketch and like it goes really badly and he's just like, oh, well, that's disappointing. And then sometimes he'll just attempt to fix it. And like there's actually a lot of ways in which you can successfully fix an attempt like that. Like, and it's not super obvious, which is cool. I don't know. I love you, Chris. Chris, my friend Chris. That's fair. I keep a sketchbook, but mostly what I do in it is like doodle like my OCs and portraits and stuff. It's a lot of warm-up pen sketches, which is fun. I wish I could play like copyrighted music without YouTube nuking this stream into non-existence. I have so many songs, and they're so good. But unfortunately, we just have to continue listening to the Green Path ambient mix. I love this track. It is a lot of Green Path, I will say. And it's like every other video game soundtrack I can think of is just a little too much. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of a lot. I mean, I could listen to it forever too, but there is like a part of me that's just like, people are gonna get bored. There was a year where like my top music of the year got like fucked up because I listened to way too much Hollow Knight soundtrack. Also because I made the mistake of using my music account to play those soundtracks when we were playing D&D as like music in the background, and they would just be on loop. So Reflection is my number one song of like 2022 or 2023. Like if I go back and I check 2023, okay, number 1 Fungal Waste, number 2 Green Path, number 3 Reflection, number 4 Queen's Garden, number 5 Nosk, number 6 Kickback by Kenshi Yonezu, number 7 Kingdom's Edge, and then Don't Panic by Coldplay, then Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit, and then 10, Dung Defender. Like, the Hollow Knight soundtrack did ruin my top 10 of the year, but I also don't think I was doing a good job anyway. Oh, interesting. I don't know why that would be the case, but I'm sorry that happened to you. Yeah, no. The soundtrack has affected my tracks for the year. Whoa. My app is doing something strange. I do think that this year is at high risk though, because I don't use Spotify, so I can see what my top songs of the year are right now. And it fully is like number 10 is Rude Buster. That's the highest video game soundtrack. I will say 13 is Vapor Buster. 16 is Big Shot because I'm an oldie. That's a joke. And then 17 is Black Knife, so like, whoa, relax. So there's some songs that are creeping up, right, for 2025, but all I have to do is not listen to any songs from the Deltarune soundtrack, and I'm safe. Is it cheating that I know this and I'm being careful? Like, yes. Has it actually reduced the amount that I listen to the soundtrack? Yes, it has. Because I want to be able to screenshot it and send it to people later. Yeah, I also don't use Spotify. I use Apple Music, which is like, it's the same, but different. Sorry, I bought into it when I was 15, and it's like, I'm not going to move all my shit over. I was like that in 2017, where it was like, plausible that I could have moved my shit over, but now it's like too late. I can't do that. But yeah, I want to be able to screenshot my top 10 and send it to people and not have them be like, oh, you listen to a lot of who's Toby Fox, and then I have to explain it, and I don't want to. I say this as though all of my friends don't also really like Deltarune, but you know what I mean. It's like, I want to have my cool songs up there. I also have Home Sweet Home from A Little to the Left as my number 3 song, because I just listened to it while I was working, because I needed something like ambient to listen to while I worked, and it was like not, it just kept playing and I didn't notice. Unfortunate stuff. It's so hard to be me, unfortunately. I just have so many stupid things I have to worry about, like what my video game to normal music ratio is in my top songs of the year. I just worry about things that don't matter. Is that so wrong? It is. I should just like live my truth and be free, but who has time for that, you know? Okay, that took so long to sketch, and it was because I was yapping the entire time. What would be a fun other thing to draw? I don't know. There's so many options. This is so fucking hard. Who is this? This is not a good Tenna. Can you tell I've never fucking drawn this guy? I've fully never drawn Tenna, because I don't. I like him. I just have never drawn him. Sorry, Tenna. Never drawn Spampton either, Your Honor. Things I have to say under polygraph. I swear, Your Honor, I've never fucking drawn him. This is not what he looks like. He's so, like, he's not wide enough. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. Let me just draw him really small. His big ass shoes. I fuck with him. Your Honor, I fuck with him. There we go. Crushed it. Oh, that looks great. That looks so fucking ugly. Alright, let's get in the corner. Let's do a little Chris. Not to be confused with this Chris. What do you use instead of Spotify? Do you know, that's the only place your ad blockers work? My ad blockers stopped working on YouTube. And I'm annoyed again. Why do you think we're listening to Green Path? It's because I literally can't play anything else without my ad blockers working. I love Green Path. I can't knock on it. I feel so bad. No, I was originally going to put on Disco Elysium Ambiance. I mentioned this earlier. And then it literally, like, it immediately started playing an ad, and I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, what are we doing right now? So then I switched back to Green Path. Or I think at that point it was City of Tears, and somebody very fairly was like, what the fuck holy music are we listening to? And I was like, I realized that if you're not familiar with the City of Tears, this probably sounds really weird. So then we switched to Green Path, because it doesn't sound like I'm playing, like, holy ambience. Which is really funny. But yeah, no, it doesn't, like, what I had to download was, like, an extension that's, like, it auto skips ads, which effectively kind of works like an ad blocker, because for some reason it will just block ads anyway. But what it really does is I don't have to diligently skip ads like I used to, and it mostly works like an ad blocker, but then sometimes it, like, doesn't anymore. You should just be legally able to opt out of listening and watching ads. Like, I feel like it's kind of ridiculous. Hi, buddy Chris. I love City of Tears. Incidentally, Chapter 4 of Deltarune really worked for me. So true. Chapter 4 was like an experience. Like, I don't know how to recreate that for myself. Like, spirit, like, in my soul. Oh my god, I need to, like, Baby girl, stay alive. My, like, stream thingy just stopped, which I didn't notice it did last time I tried to stream, and then it was frozen apparently the entire time, so every time somebody came in, they would, I think, hear me talking, but they wouldn't see any drawing happening, and what was on screen was so radically far behind from where I was that I was genuinely, like, so bummed about it. Okay, come on. Come on. Okay. Transition. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, no. Chapter 4 was real good. I had just had my wisdom teeth out and was house sitting alone with a cat, and I think that was the ideal. That's really fair. I haven't had my wisdom teeth out, and everybody keeps begging me to take them out, but like, you know, I still have my wisdom teeth warrior. No, that's very fair. For some reason, that reminds me of when I had appendicitis and I was watching the Mabim Bam like Monster Factory. If anybody remembers that, ugh, I feel so old. The Final Pam series, like I was in like the hospital and like I was in the middle of watching them like when I'd gotten appendicitis, so I was just like sitting there in so much pain, like watching the Final Pam like videos, and it hurt so bad to laugh, but I kept watching because I was like, this is really good and I need to watch them. I rewatch them periodically, like I'll put the playlist on and just like go through them like in a series, and it's so fun. And in fact that makes me want to watch them again right now. Which I might do once I fill up this page, which is a good motivation to fill up this page instead of just fucking yapping. Thank you, Chris, for not having eyes. It really makes life... I mean, Chris does have eyes. They do, in fact, have eyes. But, like, thank you for not having visible eyes so then I don't have to draw your visible eyes. It's, like, really good, actually. I'm a big fan. I love how different people interpret the Chris fit. Like, some people are just, like, classic, like, it's a sweater. And then some people are like, but what if it's a long-sleeve t-shirt over a long-sleeve polo shirt? And I'm like, so true, and I buy into that one. And then some people are like, what if it's a hoodie? And I'm like, so true. And then what if it's, I don't know, something else? I also really like the t-shirt with long sleeve. Like, I like this version a lot too, the like kind of grungier, like they'll do this and it's like fun. Ugh, it's so fun. Yeah, give them layers. You'll love to see it. I'm a fan of this iteration. Like, I like the higher neck offered by this. I feel like I've done a bad job executing it, though. Oh, that is hideous. Get out of here. Who are you? You large-headed child. Okay, let's try... Hold on, I need to do my normal world Chris brush color. Just a brown. I don't know why, but it does make it easier to draw Chris in the light world. Yes! So true! Transgender Lee, you're so right. Okay, we've got the head. It's sketched in. Nope. Nope. That's a little too Frisk. I think Chris has like a wider thing happening. Perfect. Crushed it. Oh shit, the head is tilted. That's okay, we can work with it. Yeah. Perfect. I did like that somebody pointed out that Chris is probably just wearing, like, you know, Azrael hand-me-downs. Do you think this game has themes? I'm not sure if it does, but, you know, I'll let somebody else decide that. It's my favorite overused phrase. Do you think this thing has themes? I think if I were to word search that in my own text, it would be like actually quite upsetting. I just know what I am. Someone very concerned about themes in the media that they watch. Oh my god, I'm so close to my screen right now. I love this brush. This brush is my friend. Yeah. Yup. Agree. It's so fun. It is very funny, like, watching how quickly people have started to, I don't know how to put this, lose their collective minds. Oh, Des does have one in their closet. You know, that's pretty good to know, because that does a lot for me, because I've seen so much Des and Asriel content where I'm like, I don't know what you guys are fucking talking about. That's really funny. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think that's, it is funny. I was saying something else. Oh yeah, like, it's been funny seeing how people, like, you know, it took maybe a week or two after chapter 4 released until people were like, we gotta start expanding the fanon, like, way more with, like, Asriel content. I'm like, guys, it's not been that long. Like, surely there's more to work with within the bounds of what we were given. And this is not an anti-fandom sentiment. It's literally just, like, usually it takes a while before people start doing, like, essentially making OCs out of characters that don't have as much going on yet in media, because they're curious. Like, people did this in TMA, people do this in everything, but usually it's because they're, like, starved for content. I really appreciate how quickly it just, like, happened with Deltarune. It's, like, really funny. But, you know, there's some fun fan art out there of it. You know, I don't go here, but go nuts. It's really fun. But I respect it. I respect our warriors in Fandom City. I've been into, like, Undertale since at least 2016, and I think that's so crazy. But I actually don't... Maybe it was 2015, but I'm not sure. But I've only ever done, like, one piece of fan art, which is really, like, crazy, honestly, thinking back to it. Let me see if I can find... I'm trying to see, like, what my earliest... Oh, but, like, listen, I would never throw stones from my glass house. I just don't do that with Deltarune. I do it with, like, a bajillion other things. Miraculous Ladybug hates to see me coming, but I just think it's funny. That's not the right fucking hashtag. But yeah, no, it's very funny. I have no judgment in my heart, because I literally do the same fucking thing. Let's see how far back. Okay, December 20th, 2015. I'm just trying to see how early I was into Undertale. Like, when did it come out? I feel like it was mid 2015, but I could be wrong. Undertale release date, September 15th. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's crazy. I don't do chibi characters. I do a lot of, like, portraits, like sketch portraits, in my either a digital sketchbook or something else. Like, when I'm bored, it looks like this. This is a pretty accurate representation of when I'm bored, or this, you know? This is about right for me. I don't do chibi. I don't do, like, anime fan art at all. or anime style art at all. Okay, yeah, my earliest post on Tumblr is November 2015 when it comes to Undertale, which is like, I wasn't that early, but it was pretty early, you know, 2015. It was an early, I would say that's early, you know? I actually don't want to draw legs. Let's just, oh, but I like how the hands look. Fuck. Shit. That's fine. We don't need anything else. But I don't like how the hands look when there's no legs. Whatever. Portrait machine. Let's go. So true. Let's count how many legs we've drawn and how many closed fists also. 1, 2, 3. 3 closed fists on this page. And on here, no legs either, but no closed fists. I would say this would have been one. If, stop. Like, that absolutely would have been one if I had been, no, incorrect, we're still here. Oh, this looks so much worse. Who is Suzume? I think I've said all of the anime I know, quite honestly. I am not familiar with that. I am unfortunately not a very big, like, anime fan. Like, I could name the anime that I like on one hand. It's not my bag. I mean, that's not really fair. It's a genre, or like it's more of a medium than a genre, but yeah, I'm not familiar. Is this by the same guy who did... I'm actually not gonna ask, because if I ask it, I'm wrong. It's embarrassing. Director. And he did do Your Name. I've seen that one. I should actually watch more of his stuff. I've heard they're all very sad, but very beautiful. I did like Your Name a lot. Cried a lot. But yeah, no, I'm not as good at keeping up with media. That's my problem. Hands in pockets graduate to closed fists for me. Let's go. For me, like, I feel like everybody did this when they were a kid. Hold on. It's like this. Okay. And then one hand. And then one behind back. Or I also did... I could literally go and get my old sketchbook, like, right now. And just, like, webcam it. Hold on. Let me see how fucking bad that would look. I think it would look quite terrible. Video capture device. Okay. Device. USB camera. Oh shit. My thing immediately. Ow! That is hilarious. Okay. Let's see. I can get it in there. Okay, well, I'm not gonna do that, but, fuck, I have to fix my thing. It's literally, like, so funny. No, I mean, I used to do this too. If I went and get my old sketchbooks, it would literally look exactly like that. 'Cause I know what I am. I think it would be so fun to go back and, like, do the old, like, tutorials I used to follow. Like, I used to follow, like, watch a lot of, like, Mark Crilly tutorials. I didn't watch it. I can tell you right now, the anime I have watched is as follows. I watched Attack on Titan in 2014. I watched Ouran High School House Club. I watched Mob Psycho sometime later. I watched like 4 or 5 episodes of Full Metal Alchemist. I watched Tokyo Ghoul up to season 2. I watched Haikyuu, about 11 episodes. I watched 4 episodes of Free. I watched Your Name. I've watched the first season of One Punch Man. I have watched Dungeon Meshi, and that is it, I think. I don't think I've seen more than that. There might be one that I'm forgetting. There is one I'm forgetting, but it's very old, and I don't legally have to say what it is, because it's really bad. Oh, I mean, so true. I love my thing is, like, I don't shy away from drawing hands. I love drawing hands. I think drawing hands is so fun. I do shy away from drawing legs and feet. Unfortunately, I really don't like doing it. I don't like drawing of, like, I will draw a full body character standing up, but so often I just get lost around, like, the crotch area, and then I immediately get like, you know, I just, like, I don't like doing it. Hey. But I love drawing hands. I think it's so fun. Once you stop seeing hands as, like, this complicated anatomical objects, and start seeing it as, like, fun gesture opportunity, like, there's just so much fun to be had about, like, how you can draw, like, a little hand. It's just so fun. I love it. Like, is this a good hand? No. But is it gestural? Yes. And I think that's beautiful. No, but there's many other advice I give, like practicing. Not abusing the undo button. Not zooming in too much. Excuse me. I love drawing a little. Like, there's too many bones in this hand, too many bones in this thumb, but boy is it fun. You know what I mean? And when I draw a little hand, happy world. That's good. I think it's good. I also think, like, it's similar to, you know, I have a philosophical thing about, like, if you say that you're bad at something a lot, you will become bad at it by virtue of fear, which is why I'm really bad at drawing people sitting down in chairs at tables. I think it's honestly the hardest thing in the world to draw is somebody, and I've said this for years, I think drawing somebody seated at a table where they're in proportion with both the chair and the table, and it all works, is really hard, and even this joke doodle, I can tell, like, goes weirdly high on the chest, because this is something I cannot draw. And I don't know why, but it's really scary. Every time I need to, in a comic, for example, it's kind of unavoidable. This is hell for me. This is hell. I will draw 1 billion hands before I draw one of these. Like, you know what I mean? It's just something I avoid. I really don't like it. Oh my god, riding a bicycle is crazy. I had to do it. I had to do it for an assignment. It's really hard. Oh my god, bicycles are really hard. That's crazy. I actually had a commission I had to do a few years ago, and it was for a character who had a bicycle. That shit scared the hell out of me. I had to draw a character in a bicycle. I don't think I can show it, but because of, not NDA, but, like, I don't think the commissioner wanted me to post it publicly. But yeah, that was hard. That was probably the hardest thing, and I had to learn how to draw, like, an animal for that commission as well, and that was completely fine. Commonplace object is so true. It's because you know what they're supposed to look like, but they're really difficult. I think there's a lot of stuff that's like that, like horses. Like, a lot of people don't know how to draw a horse because of what they do. And, like, there's a so I went to Sheridan, which is an art school and other school in Ottawa, in Oakville, Ontario, in Canada. It's decently well known, I think, but I'm not sure actually how many people know it. If you're familiar with Jackie Drojko, she went there for animation. I went there for illustration, but infamously there was an animation teacher there who would make everybody draw horses. He was like a big horse guy. I'm not sure if he worked on Spirit, but he's not James Baxter. His name is Mark or something. But one thing he would do is, like, he hated... Oh god, I don't know how to draw a horse. Well, that's not right. Oh, that's certainly not right. Oh no, it's gone. Oh my god, why are you aggressing? Baby girl, stay with me. That's really good. Please. 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 Okay. I'm getting so good at setting this specific thing up. That's great. But yeah, horses, like, one thing people do is they'll do like that. And this is a dog. Horses are like that. You know what I mean? I say this as though I know how to draw a horse or have ever drawn a horse in any serious capacity. I haven't. This is bad. This is bad. This is really scary. Go away. But, like, yeah, the teacher, he would just get so passionate about the horse thing. And it was, like, infamous. Like, everybody knew that this guy really was into, like, drawing horses. What the hell is his name? Sheridan Horse Prof. Nope. Animation. Mark Shufflebottom? I don't think that's right. Mark Meyerson? Mark Simon? There's so many Marks. Too many Marks. Anyway, there was a guy, I don't remember. I have a couple of his books, actually. He did some small, like, self-published books with tutorials in them and stuff. There was a really cool comic shop across the road from Sheridan when I went there. The Sheridan Horse guy, you know him, you've heard of him. There was a really cool comic shop across the way from my school that unfortunately, like, during the pandemic they really struggled and they had to shut down and go fully online. But they pivoted to doing, like, book fairs in person at the school once or twice a year, which is, I guess, something, but it's still a bummer. Like, they were such a cool, like, mainstay of the neighborhood. The similar thing to that is when they shut down the Desserts that was right across from Sheridan. But, like, that one was just, like, Sheridan had an art store in the school. Like, there wasn't really any, and they typically priced lower than Desserts, so Desserts just couldn't compete and they ended up leaving. But I really like Desserts. It's my favorite art store. Michael's could never. Also, Michael's is, like, so American. It's really funny because, like, Desserts had, like, they don't have this anymore, I don't think, but they used to have, like, discounts and stuff and, like, a good point system. And Michael's is one of those places that has, like, a military discount and nothing else. And this is, like, a very American thing when you only have, like, a military or teacher's discount and you don't have, like, other discounts. Like, to me that is, oh, you're an American company. I didn't know that until they told us. Like, when I asked, like, if they had a student discount, they were like, no, we only have military. I was like, oh, weird. Okay. We don't really have that as much here. Like, I'm sure they exist, but, like, it's not common. It's a bummer. I feel like libraries only just recently started having normal hours again, too. Like, I don't know, man. Oh my god, congratulations on leaving the US! Let's go! Oh my god, it's really hard to draw anything. Yeah, no, military discounts are crazy. I mean, like, no, they're crazy. I'm not afraid to say it. It's crazy. It's crazy to only have them, too. What music do I usually... I usually don't listen to music when I draw, to be honest. I usually listen to, like, either a podcast or an audiobook, or like I'll put on a YouTube video that's like a lot of talking. Or if I listen to music, it's gonna be something like more lyric heavy unless I'm really locked in. Or if I'm doing a comic, I can't listen to lyric heavy music. But my number one song of the year right now is Mosquito Song by Queens of the Stone Age, if that tells you anything. I listen to a lot of like alt music. I love Joywave. But yeah, usually I'm not listening to just like ambient mixes of stuff. This is the problem. I've done a fun top half of the pose, and now I can't follow through. Ah, shit. Here we go again. Put on a YouTube mix and let Jesus take the wheel. That's really funny. If I get caught off guard, like, I need to have, like, a very predictable setup, otherwise I get really distracted. But, like, if I've taken my, like, ADHD meds, like, I will sometimes catch myself having worked for, like, 5 hours straight, and then there's silence, like, nothing has played. And that's honestly, like, really funny to me, because every time it happens, I'm like, oh, right, I have a disorder. Because it's, like, that never used to be possible for me, and now it's like, okay, on the right day in the right environment, I can just sit and lock in, and I guess that's fine. But yeah, no, that's really funny. I definitely, let's not do 2 arm movers, actually. When in doubt, wide stance. Perfect. Oh god, that's shit. Okay. I can't believe this started with Old Merlin, and then it was just like, let's go somewhere else. Okay, we've got space for like 2 more portraits, 3 more portraits. 4 more portraits. Okay. Let's lock in, brothers. Because I gotta eat dinner. But I don't want to leave it on, like, a lot of blank space. Okay. Let's go. What if anything that I liked was good? It's truly like, oh, okay. I guess we're just not good. Okay, crushed that negative space. I don't know, my ONOC. I think not being good makes me more insane about a thing. The dissatisfaction is a powerful motivator. You know, that's so true because I've seen a lot of good things that where I'm just like, that's really good. Moving on now, because it's like, it's really good and sometimes I'll think about it a lot, but, you know, there is not much media that is like really, really good that I obsess over in the same way, because I literally just like, I'll sit and I'll think about it forever. Like Merlin, it's been 11 years since it ruined my life, the first time, and now it's just like, I guess I'm gonna spend the rest of my days thinking about this fuck ass terrible show, and I guess that's fine. I don't know. Miraculous Ladybug is not good, but I think about it a lot considering the fact that it's not good. Like if I go through my thing of playlists, like, and the thing is, like, Archive 81 is really good, but it's not finished. So, like, it kind of is the same thing where, you know, it's... She doesn't smile. No. Why did I forget how to draw her mouth? Let's go. But yeah, no. If I go through, like, all of the playlists I make and, like, see, like, what fandoms they're for, it's like, okay, Archive V1 doesn't really count. Ace Attorney, special place in my heart. It's really good, but it's also, like, not good. But it's good. It's good in a different way, then. Exactly! What am I gonna do? I'm not gonna mess up this space. It's perfect. I think the difference, the only exception to that is, like, really good video games. Like, I think about those because, like, it's the gameplay. Like, I feel like I contribute to it by playing the game. Which is always a fun time. But, yeah, no, I 100% agree. What else? I made Bill and Ted playlists, of course. 20%. Relax, baby. My own D&D campaign, which doesn't count. Fallen Hero, Rebirth, and Retribution, which I think are fun, but I have things I would do. Oh, the Magnus Archives, you twisted beast. But no, I agree. If something is good, it's like, what's the point of you? Okay, fun stuff. Alright. I don't know, my other OC. Starting at the mouth is actually a crazy move. I feel like something crazy happened on this one. Thank you. Appreciate it. I love drawing a face. Also, I feel like I used to have really bad same face syndrome, and now I'm like, I don't think I can necessarily beat the allegations, but I try. I try. I do my fucking best. I feel like you can't have same face syndrome as a professional. It's like embarrassing. Like, I know that some of those guys who do a lot of like the anime girl art do, and it's like, okay, but I'm not them. I can never be him. Most annoying anime character? That's a very specific question. Most annoying? Honestly, I have no idea. Some people manage anyway, you're so right. Like, that's the thing, like, some people do manage somehow to be, like, doing some same face despite being professionals. Mostly YouTubers, like, to be honest, like, I can't speak for, you know, professional illustrators, like, in outside of that space, but it is, like, fucking funny. Like, you're getting paid, and this is the variety you're managing to come up with, especially for women. Do you remember that, like, I think his name was Sam Does Art, when he did that fucking, like, Last of Us drawing, and it was, like, a decent, I will say, and bad attempt at Pedro Pascal, and then just, like, the scariest, like, whatever their name is, the actor who plays Ellie, Bella something. I almost said Bella Thorne. It's not. You're so right. That's so funny. Yeah. No, that's so true. Like, I feel like some people do have same face syndrome. Like, I do. Do you know who has same face syndrome? But I, like, love his art anyway, but this is a very fair critique. Kazuya Inori, who does the Daigekuten Saiban art. And I know this because my phone has automatically made a folder of his art, but only the girls because they have the same face. It's really funny. But yeah, he does the DGS art, and it's gorgeous. But boy, can that guy do, like, one face for a woman. But yeah, no, I hear you. I think that's really funny. This is my best friend Marius. He's my OC. I named him that because I was panicking because he was a random one-off NPC in the D&D campaign I ran. And I had to come up with a name for him because they asked me what his name was, and I didn't have one prepared, and I came up with Marius, and that was a mistake because many characters are named Marius. And unfortunately, I can't do anything. I can't do that. But yeah, did you look up that art? It's, like, so bad. I don't know who Light's Fanboy is. I watched it years ago, to be fair. Like, I watched it, I think I was 14. I'm 24 now, so it's been, like, 10 years. So, unfortunately, I cannot remember. It's, you know, very fair question. I think for anime specifically, I just simply do not watch enough to have a character that annoys me to the degree that I would remember it and not just stop watching it. You know what? I'll give you an actual answer. My friends made me watch Fairy Tail, about 4 episodes worth, like 10 years ago. The little blue thing pissed me off. I think that's probably the answer, but I don't know if it's a good answer. The entire cast of Oran, except for Haruhi and Tamaki and the guy with glasses, I think were very annoying for the entire show. That's the other answer. To be fair. Are you a real fan of Oran High School Host Club if you hate most of the characters in the show? I think I deserve... I think I get to claim that. But yeah, no, that's really fun. God, if I go back to the Samda's art like drawing of the fucking whatever their names are, Joel and Ellie. Yeah, that little blue thing. It was like so scary. It was really bad. It was ugly and it wasn't funny. It was like bad. Blue thing. Fairy tale. Oh my god, and that boobied woman, that was like scary. Blue thing from Fairy Tale. Oh my god. One thing about me, I hate a talking animal sidekick. Ugh, cannot tolerate. I just like, there are so few exceptions. Gigi from Kiki's Delivery Service gets the pass because it stopped talking halfway through. Good. That's so mean-spirited. I don't hate it broadly, but I think it's very rarely well done. Whenever my friends and I do a magma, or like one of those like things where you draw at the same time on like the same canvas, they always, without fail, they'll vandalize my Marius. You can see where this is going. Like, I will draw him, and then I'll move on to a different part of the canvas, and I come back, and he's just vandalized like this. Every time. Without fail. I did a good job. That's how you know you win. Hello, Jerry. You caught me at a good time. Look at my beautiful canvas. Let's give him kind smile, because he has kind eyes. There's something off. I think, you know what it is? Maria's lips propaganda is not real. He doesn't have them, unfortunately. What the hell? Something is wrong. Not that anyone here would know because I haven't drawn him on... Actually, no, that's not true. He's in like a whole animatic I did for my OCs. That's right. I do OCs animatics. But not to like any song that people know for animatics. It feels like a writing crutch almost. It is. It is. Oh, can I speak more loud? You're so right. I'm keeping my eye on the thing and it is close to peaking, so let me know if I am too loud, but yeah, no, I'm quite quiet. I'm drawing my OC, Marius. He's my guy. I invented him for a D&D campaign. He was completely improvised, and now I care about him a lot. So, yup. I don't know what that is. I'm Googling it. I'm not familiar with that. Initial D. We don't need the little heart. We already know I love him. But yeah, we've graduated from doing random fan art to doing drawings of my own OCs. Why do you look so scared, baby girl? But no, I do think that animal sidekicks can be a writing crutch, unfortunately. They are very annoying also most of the time. They just find the most annoying voice actor and they're like, can you just be like really annoying? And it's like, yes, I can be really annoying. I'm gonna turn this a little further down. I don't know if that's like now too quiet, but if I go back and the music is like absurdly loud, I'm gonna be so pissed. It's been hours. Okay. He looks like scared. What's wrong with you, babe? Like, what's up? Hold on, let's try. This is 20s Marius. Do you know? Yeah, I do know that. I mean, I think that's part of maturing as an artist, is accepting that sometimes, like, you're gonna make something that somebody else sees more merit in than you do. And that's, like, okay. I think when you make something, you're much more aware of the process that it took and what your expectations were, but, you know, an audience is not gonna have the same expectations that you did as the creator, so I think it's important to be, like, gracious about when people like something that you make and not, you know, get in their way by saying, like, oh, but, like, didn't you notice this problem and this problem and this problem? Because, like, chances are they have no idea what you're talking about. And also, cheat code: if somebody doesn't know that a problem exists, bringing their attention to it is a bad idea. Because then that's all they can see. The amount of times I've watched something with somebody, or, like, seen a drawing with somebody or whatever who is not, you know, an artist, and I say, oh, well, you know, it's fine, but there's this weird tangent. Like, I will spot flaws in it sometimes because I am trained. I spent 5 years in art school, like, training to see flaws in people's work for constructive criticism purposes. And then they're like, oh, I didn't notice that, and now it annoys me. Like, that is a power that you have as somebody who can spot problems. So if you simply never draw somebody's attention to it, you know, it's different if they're like, something about it is bothering me and I don't know what it is. But if somebody's, like, completely positive, there's, like, no reason to shoot yourself in the foot. You know what I mean? It's, on one hand, you can be, like, proactive and anticipatory, but there's no point. I'm trying to think of good animal sidekicks, and I'm really struggling. I think Gigi is fun. I do think that there are some, like, Ghibli ones that are good. Like, generally, I feel like they have, like, restraint and are fun. I really am struggling to think of any other ones, though. Oh, literally, I mean, when I did my Dungeon Meshi animatic, a lot of people, like, it was kind of the opposite, where, you know, I created it, and in my head it was like, it's literally the rough, like, you know, it's just a sketchy one. Like, I didn't think it was going to do as well as it did, and I was really happy that it did, but at the same time, like, a lot of people were noticing, like, imagery and metaphor that I was not intentionally bringing into the art, and I was really excited because it was, like, cool. Like, you know, this thing I made, like, people had, hold on. Sorry, locking in on drawing his beautiful lips. Ew. Sorry. I just, like, looked at him and I got upset. Ugh, there's something wrong with him. That's not my beautiful boy. That's not my beautiful wife. And this is not my house. So forget it. Sure. Who is this? Ugh, I'm not nailing him. Oh my god, yeah, the AI generated stuff on Pinterest is really bad. I've just stopped using it. No, yeah, there's so many, like, really nice comments where somebody's like, oh, this is such a cool, like, visual, like, whatever. Like, I did, like, there was one where it unintentionally, like, worked out that it went from, like, the grabbing the arm to, like, looking like he was choking out Laios. And I didn't mean for that to be the case. But somebody pointed it out and I was like, oh, that's really nice. And I don't know. I think it's, like, fun when you can kind of get away with something. Also, like, sometimes you're just more skilled than you think you are. Well, thanks for saying that. I'm glad that they have rewatchability factor to them. It is funny, like, especially with animatics and comics, they are like one of those media that I really like. I love doing animatics, I love doing comics, but it's one of those things that, like, you put a lot of time into something that you know somebody's gonna only look at for a few minutes. And you know what? On some level, it's really reassuring because you will, like, obsess over something and you're like, it's okay, they're only gonna look at this for like a couple minutes. Like, nobody's gonna pore over every page. Like, that is such a rare individual who will do that with a comic or anything. And then at the same time, you're like, oh my god, this is a lot of work for something that is so consumable. But hey, that's life. That's the nature of how the hot dog gets made. I understand. I think studying anatomy is fun, but I think you have to find your fun. It's like one of those things. It's like, you study anatomy in so many different ways. Like, I love doing life drawing. Like, I always do a little. I love doing a little, And there's so many ways to do it. I think finding your, like, there's strict study, which I do think is useful. I think a lot of, like, masters are really good at naming, like, parts of the body that are, not common knowledge, like bones or muscles specifically. But if you can find, like, a way that studying anatomy becomes fun, I think it's great. It's like it's a double-sided, like, it's a what's the word? It's a double-edged sword. Like, I think on some level it's reassuring. Like, most people are not going to pour over every frame. You can, do things in a way that is sustainable and efficient. And at the same time, like, you obviously want to put in a good effort because there are people who will pause and, like, look. And hopefully there's enough interest there that, people can absorb more than what you necessarily intended to put down. I think the nature of art is that it's always the sum of its parts. It's always more than the sum of its parts, but I don't think the artist is always privy to what that final result is fully saying. I think there's a very high degree of, like, audience interpretation that comes into that, and you have to be ready and willing for that to happen. Otherwise, you'll go crazy because you're going to be trying to control the result of what other people put into your work. I think that's fair. Everybody finds their little shortcuts and stuff like that. If it works for you, it works for you. I also, like, I think that if an image holistically looks like it is cohesive, like, if I were to draw, like, this Chris, for example, and then a really realistic hand, like, these are jank, but, like, if this hand was super realistic, it would be weird. Like, it would be scary. Who is that? The thing is, it wasn't supposed to be Chris, but in proximity to Chris, it kind of looks like Chris, so it can't be Chris anymore. Sorry, Chris. As long as your image looks cohesive, that's the ultimate goal, is an image that somebody looks at. I think for me, the big thing is I never want somebody to... I think the thing for me that I want to avoid as a critique is that somebody did not think I did something on purpose, if that makes sense. Like, unintended metaphor is one thing, but, like, design elements looking sloppy or confused or weird. Like, sometimes I look at something and I'm like, well, I don't like that, but I can tell that it was done on purpose. And so, like, I might not like it, I might have critiques of that, but, at the end of the day, as long as it was an intentional choice, I think that does it pulls a lot of weight for me in the critique process for the validity of the existence of the issue. But sometimes you see anatomy mistakes and stuff and you're like, well, I know you didn't intend to do that. Like, I used to draw necks like this. Okay, I would do a face, let's say, and it looked worse than this. And let's say the shoulders were here. I didn't draw like this, but let's say that they existed. And the neck would do that. and this was not tapered. It would literally just do that. This is sickening, and this was so much of my art 2015-ish. Now I don't do that. Now it's, looks like a human's head with... I still do, like, proportional neck for the style I work in, but I think intention can go over personal appeal in terms of validity. I do think personal appeal still factors in. Like, sometimes I'll look at something and I'm like, well, I can tell you did that on purpose. I still think it's fugly, but, like, go crazy. Live your life. Yeah, no, I agree. AI art is pretty bad. But yeah, no, it's fun. Just the way I love spotting a little anatomy error. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I feel like a lot of the time with the critique, it's like, if you meant to do that, like, my taste in it is one thing. I also think it matters, like, who the audience is. Like, if you're trying to do broad appeal work and you're doing some, like, really wild stuff, like, as long as you know that you're going to alienate your audience, I think that's very fair. Like, go crazy. I love a little fun, like, weird art. I think it's good. I think it's a moral necessity. I say that laughing, but I mean it. But I do think, like, willful ignorance of your audience is also, like, a problem, just for your own sanity, because otherwise you'll be left, like, confused with what's going on. But as long as you know who you're making art for, I think that's all that matters. I also used to do this weird thing. There was this artist who I was a huge fan of when I was, like, 13 or 14, and I used to do eyes like this. I kind of do still, but, like, it was really, like, clearly dots instead of, like, lashes. And I used to do eyes like this, and their name was Elvishness, and I don't think they still exist online anymore. But I was such a big fan of theirs, and I used to yoink this like, style from. I think broad appeal is still less important than intention, to clarify. I think it's less important, but I think it's a factor that's worth bringing up, because I do think your audience is, like, a really important part of the work you make. Like, I've been doing a graphic novel, for example, and the audience appeal for that is like, generic. It's not supposed to be like, artists and, like, people who digest, like, really, like, metaphor heavy stories and stuff like that. It's, like, a generic audience of a specific age group, right? So I would not want to alienate that audience or narrow the field too much, which is important. But, like, also somebody might know that but then disregard it on purpose, and that's a very valid thing to do. I just think it's a mistake to completely disregard it without thinking about it, if that makes sense. I don't know. I think I think art is, like, hard, and you gotta, like, think about what you're doing, man. A little bit. As much as it needs to be thought about. Which types of movies? I recently watched a few movies. I just watched Sinners, which I really liked. I just watched Weapons, which I really like. I liked it, like, a lot, actually. Flaws and all, I thought it was fun. Just a fun movie. Not much I would change. I watched Superman again, and I thought that was just very charming, very fun. Sinners is so good. The scene in the juke joint where it, like, goes between times. Brother, I was locked in. That was so fucking good. What else have I seen recently? Let me just pull up my Letterboxd. I say that as a joke, but I actually, like, do log movies on Letterboxd. I recently watched Pulse. My friend showed me that, and it was really good. I watched The Truman Show, and I really liked it. My favorite movie of all time is probably Princess Mononoke. I really liked it. Or, I don't know if that's my favorite. It's hard. My favorite movie of all time is based on a book by a piece of shit. So, unfortunately, it is no longer my top 4 because I don't want people to think I fuck with him, but it is Coraline. I love that movie a lot. But I haven't seen it in a while, unfortunately. I love The Lighthouse by Robert Eggers. I love Pan's Labyrinth. I think my favorite fun movie is Knives Out. The Fast and the Furious 2001. Hey, I have not seen it. But I know many people really like that one. What other movies do I really like? I really like The Vivitch. But yeah. Okay, my Letterboxd top 4 has Princess Mononoke as well. The Wolf House of Wolf Walkers. Wait, that's Moslad. I don't know if you are you that's really funny. What's the 4th movie? I'm really curious what the 4th movie is, because I know that it probably has nothing to do with wolves. But that's really funny. That's so good. It's very thematic. Like, I love the idea of somebody going on your page and being like, oh, nothing I've learned about this person for sure. There's still space. Let's do another Merlin, just for fun. Ooh. Pride 2014. I don't think I've seen that one. I don't think I've heard of it either. I haven't heard of the other 2 wolf movies either, to be fair, but... I have not heard of this. Oh my god, Bill Nye! He's in, another movie I've seen. Yeah, no, my top 4 is Mononoke, Lighthouse, Pan's Labyrinth, and Knives Out. Because I really fucking love that movie. I feel like I had to put Knives Out in there because it's such an easy rewatch for me. It's like so easy to just throw on. Love that fucking movie. So fun. What else? What have I rated like 5 stars? I feel like that's a good... let's go sort by highest first. Okay, I gave Parasite 5. I'm a lover. Oh, cool. I'm surprised they're still making them. I'm a lover, so I give a lot of movies 5 stars. I give a lot of movies 5 stars. Oh shit! My fucking thing. Oh, Pan's Labyrinth is so fucking peak. It's so good. It's like, I would also, if I could put another movie in there, I'd probably put Crimson Peak in there. That movie rocks. It's just so fun. It's just so fun. I need to watch more of his movies. I loved his Pinocchio. His take on Pinocchio was gorgeous. Don't worry about it. I'm putting it back right now. Baby girl, where'd you go? Ah! Oh my god, it crashed again? Hold on. Hold on. Please. Please. Can we please? Okay. Can we please? Okay. transition? Did this work? I don't know if that's true about Skyfall. I feel like I know people who didn't like that movie. I fixed it. We're back, brother. Yeah, no, Pinocchio is so good. It's so fun, and every time Mr. Ewan McGregor does his thing in that movie, do I like it? I've never seen it. Not my thing. I'm much more of a Knives Out fan myself, I'll be so honest. Okay, my 5-star movies. That's crazy. Okay, that's high, and that's kind of ridiculous because I am clearly biased. I have Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey at 5 stars. I feel like that doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's a movie I like. Letterboxd has a whole function for liking a movie but not rating it that high. I don't think it deserves 5 stars. I gotta do a redux. My friend has a rule that I respect, which is like, you don't rate a movie unless you've just seen it. It has been like several years since I've seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and I was obsessed with those movies in like late 2020, or like late 2021, I think. I was so obsessed with them, I got interviewed for the Nerdist, to talk about how obsessed I was with them, which is so fucking funny. Do you ever get so into fandom that a journalist reaches out to you to be like, hey, do you want to talk about this? And I'm like, yeah, sure. That's insane. You never rate movies? Oh my god, I love rating a movie. I love being like 5 stars. I liked it. Lady Snowblood got a little 5. Pulse, 5. A movie by a director who shall not be named. That should get a redux. It was a 5-star to me though. Crimson Peak, 5. Over the Garden Wall, easy 5. Oh my god, so glad it's on there too. The Craft, 5 stars, wouldn't change a fucking thing. 8th Grade, 5. There's too many movies in here for me to name all of them, but I do love many movies. Romeo plus Juliet, 5. There's so many really good movies in here. The Favorite, I saw the TV Glow, which I really, really liked. They're playing it at a local theater near me. But I don't think I can reasonably go and watch it because I don't want to cry a lot in a theater. Lilo and Stitch. I mean, it's a good movie, but I don't remember watching it. You know what? That's very fair. I just, like, let my heart take me where it needs to go. I feel like I have, like, a personal, like, mental thing. The half star is really, like... I have a very good idea of what each star is, but then the half star is, like... something needs to take it a little over the edge. Like, a 4.5-star movie, like, what's the difference between a 4.5-star movie and a 5? I don't know, because I gave Midsommar 4.5 stars. I gave, the second Spider-Verse movie 4.5 stars because I was like, it's a it's a 2-parter. I can't give it 5 stars if I don't know how it ends, but it's really fucking good. Kill Bill 4.5. Shrek. Which Shrek is that? Just the first one, 4.5. That's high. There's Weapons. I gave 4.5 stars. Megamind 4.5. Like, I have no rhyme or reason. I literally just, like, vibes based. Like, if somebody scrolled through my letterbox, they'd be like, okay, interesting movies that you rate this highly. You know, I gave Inception 5 stars because I'm unique and I'm, like, really different. Lady Bird I gave 5 stars because I have a mom. Across the Spider-Verse is fantastic. I just, like, on principle, I can't give it 5 stars because I don't know where it's going. And also, the second one's been in production for so fucking long. I loved it. Like, on its own, it's, like, a 5. But, like, it was a secret, like, prequel. Or, like, sequel first part. And I intrinsically disliked that. Like, they did not advertise that. I felt lied to. This is not an opinion I strongly hold. I think it's it will get 5 stars. Like, I will go back and change it once the next movie comes out. If the next movie, like, follows up well, I think they would have to get the same rating. Unless it, like, is hugely different in quality, then, you know, that's something else. But if they feel, like, very cohesive, like, to me, a two-parter has to feel like a single movie that they just cut in half for time, basically. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. American Psycho, I give 5 stars because I'm a sick fuck. I love that movie. It is, like, it's so funny. It's so funny. I did read the book. Wouldn't recommend the book, I would say. It's a tough recommend. Oh, so you haven't seen Across the Spider-Verse until the second one comes out. I respect that. I think that's a very fair approach, because, like, it is annoying, I will say, and it's been in production for years. Like, it sounds like it's fucked over there, like, it's Sony. Like, and I get it, it's a lot of hype, too, like, you don't want to let people down. No, it's a really good, funny movie. Like, the whole interview scene, like, there's a really good scene in the book that, like, they couldn't put this in the movie because it doesn't work unless it's Tom Cruise, but there's a really fucking funny scene in the book where he gets in an elevator because he's, like, the whole time in the book, he's talking about how he lives in the same building as Tom Cruise and how exciting that is. But the only reason it's exciting is because he's Tom Cruise. And there's a scene where he ends up in the same elevator as Tom Cruise, and he has this horrific, embarrassing conversation with Tom Cruise. And it's really good. It's really funny. And it's so embarrassing that Patrick Bateman gives himself a nosebleed. Like, because the whole time he's like, the one thing in the movie that I don't think comes across is how much Patrick Bateman, like, really fucking hates himself. Like, it kind of does in the movie, but in the book, like, he's both self-obsessed and he's just like, I hate myself, I'm an embarrassing piece of shit, I don't deserve anything. And then in that moment, he's, like, so embarrassed, he's like, I have to stop talking. Like, I don't know why I'm still talking. And it's kind of, like, relatable. It's kind of, like, #relatable. But it's deeply cringe. It's deeply cringe. But it's also, like, one of my favorite scenes in a book I've ever read. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Grand Budapest Hotel got a cheeky 5. I think that would be a safe bet. I think this was in my top 5 for a while. I really like Grand Budapest Hotel. I think it's one of my favorite movies. Easily. Like, I need to make a list on Letterboxd that's, like, the top X. Like, this is just movies that I think are so fucking good. Like, if I could put them in a top 4, I would. But they're simply, like, just not. Like, the top 4 has, like, spots that I have to fill. Like, I'm not gonna put 2 movies that kind of fill the same spot as The Lighthouse. Though I don't think that there's another movie that really fills that desire for me. Yes. Ugh. It was so good. Such a good fucking movie. Really fun book. Can't recommend it, though. Don't read it. It's, like, really rough read. The nice thing about it is the really bad chapters are isolated. Like, the roughest ones to read are isolated, and I didn't read them because they were just, like, too much for me. Like, I kind of got what was going on. But it's a rough one. Gone Girl, 5 stars. I feel like I have to rewatch that movie. Silence of the Lamb, 5 stars. A reluctant, I agree. Yeah. Matrix, 5 stars. Hardcore, yes. That movie fucking rocks. Pride and Prejudice, the 2005 one. This is a boring take. A lot of people who are, like, very cool, they're like, oh, we like the 90s one with, I don't know, what's his name, Colin Firth. Ugh. 2005 Pride and Prejudice is, like, peak. It's so good. I love it, and it's a hot take for sure. It's not only one of the most popular movies of all time, but why are these Your Name type movies so sad? I think the director. The 2005 one is really good. Thank you for agreeing with me. It's just really fun. Like, what else is there to say? It's just a fun-ass movie. And Matthew McFadden is, like, really good in it. He does such a good job. Recently watched Sense and Sensibility as well for the first time, and I thought that was really fun. I still think Pride and Prejudice, like, leaps and bounds better, but it is fun. Also, just Emma Thompson has such a charming, like, way about her. You know what I mean? I need one more thing to fill the space, and then my spiritual. Hello. Interesting. Unfortunately, I don't know what you're about, but that's too many 8s in your username. So goodbye. Youch. Unfortunately, it's just too many in the username for my tastes. Potentially innocuous, not willing to take the risk, unfortunately. Someday, I'll be a big enough streamer that I can have moderators. Isn't that the dream? To be so big that you just have people who are like dedicated to sniping potential and actual weirdos from your chat. Someday I'll be a big enough streamer that I can start referring to my chat as chat. That's the real dream. I'm unfortunately, or fortunately, not there. So I'm still in everybody stage. I'm not in chat stage. I've not graduated to chat yet. Okay. Well, I feel okay about that one. I feel better about this page. I might post this page. Do I like Eminem? He's fine. He has old music that is fine. Anyway, I think I'm done. It is 9:30 p.m. in the evening. It is whatever time it is where you guys are. Thanks for sticking around. At some point, apparently, 190 people have tuned in for but a moment, which is really funny. But no, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go to bed. Hopefully I'll stream more often. This is fun. And maybe announce it instead of just like doing this randomly. Okay, have a good night. Thank you for joining. Bye.